Fingers meet below the heart, falling between thumbs and fingers, the descending triangle of water. They got shoes supporting the sky, frontal heels together and slightly angled apart to the front, head down, arms angled up on either side of head about, head 1-5 from head to wrist and crooked as if supporting a ceiling, just at head height with the fingertips, the palms face upward, and the backs of the hands away from the head. Thumbs close the side of palms, fingers straight and together. Frontal heel together and slightly angled apart to the front. Head on.
Your job 3 years ago, please.
Head on, tangled up on either side of head about head. One down. From head to wrist and crooked as if supporting the ceiling. Just eyes right to fingertips. The palms face upward and the backs of the hands away from the head. Thumbs close the side of palms. Fingers straight together.
Everybody, mis amigos, es hora quitado.
pointed left arms form a diagonal with body right above head. Hands palmer and open with fingers outstretched and together. Head erect. Earth, the god set fighting. Frontal figure, arty foot pointed to the angled slight. Foot elf heel touching arty heel and foot pointed left arms form a diagonal with bob above head. Candles dripping on marble floor. Silver symbols carved into the door. You said, watch my hands, don't turn away. And the whole room bent when you said my name. In this circle of eyes, you pull the sky inside my mind. Every color obeys you. I can't tell your truth from lies. You're a storm in a velvet disguise. I'm falling deeper into you. Power in your voice.
what?
20 red wines. Life. Love. Force.
This is utopia.
Fantasy.
And Brad is 100% correct. This is
These
all
two
kinds of kingdoms that have
Nine hands
gone up
full of leaves.
conquered all over the world. Okay? And the scriptures that say there is a time for war. Matthew 25 says there'll be wars and rumors of wars. Why? Because men within themselves want to have power. I like purpose. Okay? There's a difference. Okay? I believe in purpose. I believe in helping my fellow man to the best of my ability. And everything I do, Brad, is just trying to help people, and it's not in vain. I know most people don't want to subscribe to that. That's okay. It doesn't make what they're doing any different than what I'm doing. At the end of the day, all I'm trying to do is to let people know there's a lot more abundance in the world than negativity. The world.
Again, it's a philosophical utopia version. It's not grounded in reality. It's not there. You can have hope. I mean, I hope the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Like every day. I hope I wake up 6 feet above ground. I hope I don't die in a hospital bed having to be fed tapioca with my pills crushed in it like Alan. I don't want to have a day where I shit myself because I'm in diapers at 90 years old in a nursing home. Like, we all have hope. Everybody has hope and prayers. We hope we strike the lottery. We, what was it? Women hope they're not pregnant. Women, like whatever. You hope you don't get cancer or AIDS. You hope you don't get injured. Like all sorts of hopes that exist out there. But the reality is that's not always the case, and hope isn't a prevailing way to govern one's life. You don't even govern yourself by hope. You govern yourself by the set of laws determined upon you by an empire that decreed, hey, we're going to kill everybody in this land and we're going to take it by force and allow you to build up. And even then, you didn't own any part of that in theory because you still pay taxes. And if you don't pay those taxes, the government comes and takes it by force. So all of that utopia doesn't exist. It's not a philosophical, it's not personal responsibility about balancing your checkbook and paying your bills. That's not how the world operates. There are people out there that would love to have that first world problem, but they don't. They have to worry about whether or not they can get up in the morning and find a safe route to go hike and get water. And in a war-torn country like Congo, or wherever else is going on, or one of the 39 open armed conflicts that are going on, FARC hopes they're able to overthrow their government and get into power. And they're doing their shit. So, I mean, it's not going to start anything. And if you're asking for like some kind of everybody just take the moral thing, we can just be perfectly fine. No, like there's bad people out there. There are wolves, there are bears. And then you have to have, and you could say I'm a good man. I'm not a good man. I'm not any type of man at all other than just a man. I'll do bad if I need to, and I will do good if I want to. It's a choice I make, but at the end of the day, sometimes that choice is forced upon us. And you're going to do bad when you are put into the corner and you have to now figure out, should I do good or should I just go without or should I let my kids starve? No, you're going to go fight for that. You're going to go commit whatever you need to protect what you have. And I don't know why people deny nature in itself in favor of something like utopia, peace, revolt that just doesn't come to reality. It never has. It never worked anywhere, not even in the Bible. It never occurred. Even in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve still fucked up and still caused problems. So, I mean, you can't even get it right from the onset. But
even alluding to the Bible as the foundation of the laws of nature and nature's God. Obviously, you and I both do know that when we violate, because what is it called? You were in the military, deployment. They deploy people to do certain things. Right now, you and I both know that it's better to deploy
people that's causing the conflicts or their governments? You know, it's still people. But we got a lot.
Depends on,
like you said,
depends on the conflict.
Yes, it depends on the conflict. But again, if we the people in the United States, which we supposed to hold true to be self-evident, if we rely more on the people of the United States, then all our elected officials would actually be more beholden to the people. But because the people have decided, Brad, not to take their own responsibility seriously, they're leaving it to someone else that they never met and don't really care about them at all. That's the lobbyists. That's Big Pharma. That's all the things that we always talk about. But in reality, if anybody's going to take care of your house, and I know, Brad, you're pretty good at taking care of your house, take care of your family. You know why? Because that's what Brad does. So, Brad, when we talk about responsibility, there's no utopia. No one talks about that. There's pain everywhere, man. You and I both know that. I bury people every day. So I know. And some of them did naturals. Some of them OD'd. Some of them got murdered, homicide, all kinds of crap. I just buried a man and his two boys died in a car accident. I live in the real war, guys. The real world.
Are you just trying to prove to us that you have personal responsibility? Because honestly, as a guy who's been ranting and raving, like, just constantly, you don't seem to have very much, like, inhibition.
Hey, Andrew, can I ask you a question? Hold on.
What
Peter, what's that?
Go ahead.
You're good. So Andrew, I just want to know, do you have any discipline on the mic at all?
I would have more discipline than the woman whose face I just took a shit on.
You're so interesting.
Andrew.
The woman in your profile picture.
Okay, I moved him to the audience just because.
Wait, what did he say right now?
The woman, he has more.
I'm so sorry, Edward, that you said that. Edward, I'm so sorry.
Did he say like?
It was awful.
Yeah, he's trolling.
He's trolling, but nobody has to apologize to Edward.
No, exactly. Don't apologize for me. You guys don't worry about it. Listen, people tell you who they are. I don't care about that. The guy's having his own issue. Okay? Listen, guys, you don't have to believe anything Edward says. Edward's just giving you his opinion. Does everybody move by what Edward said? It doesn't have to. Don't worry about it. Don't adopt to the ideology. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Edward, I agree 100%. Like, I have a differing opinion than you. But at the end of the day, I actually think you're a very nice man. You're actually a lot more conservative than I am. What's really funny is it like 3 years ago or so, when I was talking to some people I knew on Discord, it was like, you know, I encountered this man, and you know, he kind of held my feet to the fire, and he was doing it from a very conservative perspective, where it's like oh shit, like wow, I think I have to get all my ducks in a row. This guy's, you know, he and I understand you want people to hold themselves accountable and all that, which I largely agree, and I would say that when it comes to individuals, they absolutely should hold themselves accountable more than anybody else. Now, if we're talking about things like geopolitics, or we're talking about groups of people, that's where things kind of change a bit. I mean, because we are talking about groups of people. We all have religions, we come from different countries, have different morals and values and all of that shit. And so at the end of the day, we have to coexist. But if I'm being realistic, all of our values are not created equal. And you're obviously well, I won't say obviously, but I'm guessing, would you consider yourself a religious man, a Christian man?
Hey, I just want to hop in for a second.
But no, hold on. I wanted to ask, and Anthony, I'll let you go after me. I just wanted to ask, like, you do consider yourself Christian, right?
It's mentioned 3 times in the scripture. I'm a kingdom citizen. I believe in the kingdom. It's a form of government that I was on the earth. I live according to the laws of God, according to the kingdom of God, not according to the natural man. There's a big difference.
No, absolutely, and it's obviously where there's like a fundamental difference between us, and I get it, and I respect it, and that's fine. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. So, a lot of us have been on this app for a number of years, and it's been a while since I've seen Edward in any spaces, and I'm happy to see him. And I genuinely like Edward. He's a good guy. He means well. The issue that like I've had in the past with Edward is my humble opinion, right? He comes across a little preachy. Listen, everybody's entitled to opinion and their worldview. God bless them. The more I learn, the more I realize I know nothing. That's pretty much my perspective. I don't feel compelled to impart my religious worldview on anybody. I'm not saying that that's the right way to be or the only way to be or the best way to be. I'm just speaking from my perspective. I don't know how conversation developed. I wasn't, honestly, I've been trying to figure it out, and I'm not latching on to it. But, that's my little contribution. I don't know if it's germane to the topic at hand or not, but, that's been my thing with Edward. Good guy, but a little preachy, my humble opinion.
The good part about life is you don't have to be Edward. You can be Anthony. That's the beauty. And it's so funny that I come on Clubhouse. And Anthony, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you think people are here preaching their ideology, all kinds of different things? I think everybody's preaching, man. I think everybody's trying to tell you what they believe and why they believe it. That's why we have gender rooms. That's why we have race rooms. That's why we have all kinds of stuff going on. You know why? Because this is what people do. So if one guy comes and says, this is ideology, what we decide to do is say, hey, I'm going to ask you, Anthony, and just correct me if I'm wrong. How many times have you said that to men who do not get involved with the women that they have children with?
So, okay, so this is a great point. This is a really, really good point, right? When I make the point about out of wedlock births, and this is typically, I'm not really getting on the men, I'm really getting on the women. I'm talking to a specific group of people that are pretending that they're looking for solutions. So I'm offering solutions to people that are looking for solutions. And I'm interested in seeing their reactions to my perceived solutions. I'm not trying to come from, like I'm standing on the mountaintop and I'm holding the tablets and God just whispered in my ear. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm just giving that as, an example of how certain things could be perceived. So I think there's a subtle difference between someone saying, listen, I don't know jack shit, but this is how I feel about it. And someone that comes across as, I figured it out. I've got it all figured out. And this is how we get to the promised land. I think there's a subtle but profound difference between those two perspectives.
Anthony, I want to 100% agree with you there. It's when the one thing that makes me, I would say, cringe the most is when somebody, and of course, a lot of these people, they're con men. They are, even if they're religious, I would say they're still somewhat con men. They have the answer to all of life's problems. Just follow their simple solution and do what they say. And I, personally, I am so allergic to that. It is fucking disgusting. And somebody who is raised Catholic to where I'm and anything that's like not Catholic is kind of. Actually, I won't even get into it. But holy shit! I'm sorry, I was reading something. I forgot what I was saying, but like I've never heard somebody that's had the answer to all of life's problems, except for people that were literally just like fucking con men or charlatans.
Anthony's too nice, but he was trying to say that you're a condescending, pretentious asshole.
No. Let's be no. Shut up. But Edward.
They said that.
No, but Edward, he is a nice man. He's a man of faith. He's a man that I think that.
Yeah, but he's a
You know what I've said? No, shut up. What I've said, and I've said this about Anthony before. Anthony is, if you're gonna look at like conservatism in the United States, Edward is somebody who's like, probably close to being 99 or 100% conservative. He's more conservative than the vast majority of people on this fucking app. That's my opinion. Like, he's absolutely somebody he's consistent. I've never heard him make a talking point that was not conservative. And you can look at him. He talks about his life. He's very open about it. He's a successful man. It sounds like, him and his wife and his children have all of their ducks in a row, and which is good. He raised his kids the right way with the right values. He's a conservative. Like I said, and I've said this many times before, I'm not a conservative. I'm somebody who's voted Republican since I've been of voting age, but I don't classify myself as a conservative. But now, just be realistic. Imagine if every father in the United States was similar to Edward, our country would be a better place. Now, I'm somebody who so happens to believe that Edward is, special, and I don't think most people are capable of being somebody like him, and that's kind of where we'll disagree.
And this has nothing to do with Edward, but oftentimes with people that present this, this perfect life, and I've got it all figured out, and my family, everybody's we're just paragons of virtue. The closer you look, the quicker it starts to fall apart, and that's where like a lot of the low-key hypocrisy, comes into play. You ever have those friends that, they're more interested in presenting an image to people than actually living the life that they portray. That's my pet peeve. That's my little trigger. Honestly, I really don't care, but it is something that hurtful. It could be annoying. The more I think about it, it's one of those situations where, and like I said, this has because I think Edward's been super since I've known him on this app, super duper consistent. And there's nothing that there's no smoking gun with Edward that I can point to and be like, this guy's full of shit. There's nothing I can say. But you have a lot of people that are heavily invested in presenting this pristine image. And, to me, we all live in glass houses. I'm not perfect. I've been married for, a number of years. Me and my wife would go through it. My kids, shit, man. Anyway, listen, don't have all the answers. I'm a work in progress, and, I'm just trying to figure out one day at a time. And I hope God continues to give me the strength.
Everyone else, the world as we are versus as it is. I don't know any of you. Never met any of you. But it's quite
Roasted
interesting
that
that you guys have all
motherfucker.
determined that you
Try to
know
roast that motherfucker.
and you know
You
my
getting
intentions.
roasted now?
So, you all know this. I will apologize to all of you if you ever thought that Edward was trying to be condescending to you in any way, because that's never the goal. I want to be at peace with all men, no matter who they are, if at all possible. Sometimes it's not possible, because some men don't want to be at peace with Edward, and that's okay. And Anthony, I've been married, my son just turned 41. I've been married a long time.
What were they doing?
And my wife and I don't agree on everything. You know, we've been through it. And you know what? We also worked through it. And you know what? She's still my wife. You know why? Because we believe in adaptability, not compatibility. We believe in working stuff out. It's called covenant. This is so interesting that you guys think that just because someone is quote unquote presenting something. I don't know if you guys know this, but there are people on planet Earth that are actually living correctly and trying to do the best they can every day for their life. Everybody's not wilding out. Everybody's not falling apart. Okay? I grew up in a home where my grandpa was married to his wife for 49 years. Okay? My dad was married to his wife for 58 years. And I come from a good stock of people who know what it's like just to try to do right. I'll land on this. My dad taught me something at 12 and a half years old. He said, son, no substance, no abuse. Never tasted alcohol in my life, never smoked a cigarette, never did drugs. Doesn't make me better than anybody. And my dad also said this, and that includes women. So what I am not trying to do is present something to you guys, because I have to live with Edward every single day. You guys don't get to do that. And every problem that Edward's ever had is the ones he caused in his own life. So you guys know what I look at sin as? S-I-N, self-inflicted nonsense. Every time Edward had a problem, he's self-inflicted. Not blaming anybody else for anything that Edward's ever done wrong. So I land there, and Anthony, again, thank you, because I know that you did not come from a place of hatred. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the spirit that it was meant for. You know, like I said, I'm happy to see the mistakes. Listen, y'all, as far as the question of the room, is this war necessary? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah. I know there's definitely people that don't agree with that concept, but I think that I think that when all is said and done, we are going to have a favorable outcome from the situation. I think it's going to be better than the way we found it. It's going to be better than, you know, the alternative, which is to not go to war. That's my take on it. And I understand the pushback, but, you know, my humble opinion.
Well said, Anthony. I'm with you. I'm on the same page as you when it comes to the war. I think a nuclear armed Iran provides a lot more problems for us than good. I mean, that's the other question you can ask yourself is, what good has Iran done, like the government apparatus, for the well-being of human beings? I mean, it's just an apparatus of terror, in my opinion. So you got to start somewhere. And real quick on the Edward thing, I've never heard Edward ever try to convince somebody to be him. I've only heard him say, I have these questions, feel free to answer them or not, and move along. So I've heard preachers, I don't think Edward's preaching. I think he's just stating his truth of what he feels, how he wants to live his life. And I think a lot of people don't do that. I think it's for to us. So it seems like Edward's like preaching to us or lecturing us. So just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there on Edward.
So Matt, you know, I go into certain corners of Clubhouse, Just real quick, Edward, and I want you to respond to this as well. It's going to tie in what Matt just said. So Matt, I'm in the corners on Clubhouse, and I'm in some spaces where it gets really, really rowdy and really, really crazy and really, really buck wild. And Edward came into that space and started preaching. Well, not preaching. He started being Edward. And eventually, it pained me to see it happen. Eventually, they kicked him out the room. I don't know if he remembers this, but yeah, it's like that. He was in like it's not Sodom and Gomorrah because it's not alphabet people, but it's just one of those rooms where everything goes. It's not a safe space, and Edward came in and was trying to, I guess, be that ray of light, and it wasn't the group for that. He got kicked out of the room. So that's kind of one of my lasting memories of Edward.
Real quick, and that's fair.
I remember that space. Anthony. But the funny thing, Anthony, is you said this is a room that everything goes, except someone trying to be reasonable. It's kind of funny.
The irony of that, right, Edward? Go figure, right? And by the way, I've seen you kicked down plenty of times, so that would be my first rodeo on that front. So carry on, Edward. Go ahead.
Correct me, because guys, I don't mind growing. I'm 62. I don't know everything, but KK, she's correct. I always try to come and ask a question. I want to lead with a question, and I do have certain ideologies that I stand by. That's all. But other than that, I think we all have BS. And what I mean by BS, guys, so you guys know it, I call it belief system. We all have our own belief systems that we subscribe to, no matter what they are. But why would I not stand on my own belief system, and you guys just get to hear a man in contemporary time just telling you what he believes? That's all.
Well, Mr. Edward, what I've always experienced with you for the past probably 4+ years is you lead with a question, not for yourself. You lead with a question to gain insight to the person you're trying to engage with. And then you shift to determine what type of conversation you can have with this person to make it authentic, right? And that's why I couldn't come up and talk at the time. It's irritating when people say, "Oh, he's trying to say he's perfect." He's never said he's perfect. If anything, he's always said, "I'm a man of God. I am fallible. We all are fallible," and to give grace to ourselves and grace to each other. But if it's like, "Oh, he's trying to say he's perfect," well, that says more about you than him. Then are you recognizing that maybe you are not to a standard, and you recognize that this man is to a standard? But he has not changed. He always asks a question, not for himself, but to learn and to be able to have a great engagement with the other person. And I think we all can take a lesson from that. But I totally felt like Sarah when I blocked that guy. I'm like, "I'm going to block you." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I sound like Sarah."
So Terry, yeah, I just I don't know who if you were referring to anyone specifically on stage. I did mention the word perfect in one of my submissions.
Oh no, not you, Mr. Anthony.
Cool.
Absolutely
Cool.
not.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you, Kate.
No, I was talking about someone in the chat, and then I was talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
of course, sir.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that you can ask me that.
Anthony, you knew my shot wasn't at you either, right? I just want to make sure.
Yes.
It was more of a general thing.
Yeah, Matt, Matt, come on. Where's Matt? You're my brother. Yo, Matt, I can't thank you enough. And I'm just going to say it right now, right here. Matt, you hold me down so much in the chat in so many rooms, bro. Yo, you're my partner in crime, brother.
We got it.
Yo, you know how many times it's just me and you against the whole room, bro? It's crazy.
For hours, too, by the way. Not just 20 minutes, 10 minutes. It's just constant. Yep.
Anthony, you're so patient in those rooms. I don't know how you stay that long. I'm like 3 minutes in, and I'm like, "Oh my God,
bad.
KK, it's really,
Appreciate you,
and
Anthony.
it's it's so funny to see the hate, man. It's like the literal, and here's the thing. I'm like, when the conversation stops, the guys like Brad take over. You don't want the guys like Brad taking over.
Oh no.
That's what happens when the conversation stops. Those guys get on your ass. And you got these cats that think, well, we're ready for whatever. You don't want those guys. Those are nightmares. You're not ready for that. It's like, please, let's keep the conversation flowing.
We had a couple nightmares tonight in this room with the bike.
Yeah, I will always say that.
Edward, what are the 4 R's?
Oh, that's right, Beaver.
I'll get them for you 1 second. Now you just threw me off. Give me
I always defend big, beautiful ladies against Brad. So.
Thank you for defending me, Necro. Do you like them plump? Are you a plump and dumper, Necro?
Absolutely.
Did you like that, Bima?
I did. That's my boy.
Plump and dumper. Oh.
Hey, quick question to the room. I just need just a yes or no if you think this is a fair question. Was the U.S.'s attack on Iran in 2026 necessary to keep the U.S. safe from an imminent threat from Iran? Would you agree that that's a fair question? Is it phrased? Is it not? Is it loaded? If I wanted to find a determination, is that a good question to ask?
So
Definitely
one
loaded.
word.
Because imminent
Yeah.
is subjective.
Yeah, exactly. That was my point. That's going to be the key word that is going to be subjective, because that's the issue.
Beaver, I meant to change the poll. Sorry, my bad.
That's cool.
But yeah.
So yeah, well, yes, thank you. But that is what we're determining, whether Iran was an imminent threat or not whether it was a threat. I think everybody agrees that Iran was a threat, but whether it was an imminent threat, because that's what the United States president, that's what Trump said to us.
I mean, you can flip it and say, is Iran currently... Oh, I just thought about it. Sorry, I had a glass of Pinot Noir to wind down. Hold on.
I mean, you could whittle it down to, does Iran have their finger on the button to fire the nuke? That's imminent. Or are they close enough to developing a nuclear weapon in a few months? Like, to me, that's...
Yes.
You could argue that's imminent. I mean,
Yes.
It's just...
Is Iran a threat to the U.S. today?
And KK, by the way, and I mentioned this earlier, I don't know if I'm repeating myself, I don't know, it was like 2 days ago. Iran doesn't need to use nukes on neighboring countries or the U.S. or, the great Satans of the world, as they say. They could just use the nuke as a hostage leverage, you know what I mean? For the Strait of Hormuz, they could just own that because they have a nuke, you know what I mean? So it's not like they have to eat a nuke. You got that, right? I think you've heard that, but
Yes, and that's the issue, is the threat and then the lack of accountability with the IAEA, which they're supposed to have access to. That was agreed upon how many decades ago? So they're playing that game. Well, you can't, because I have something. So when is that something actually going to come to fruition? That should be the worry, and it's just been pushed down the road. But I get what you're saying, Matt. I hope that helped you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Emma, I think the threat has always been imminent. I think I put this in the chat. It's been imminent since 1979. It's just a matter of how imminent and how mature an operation is at any given time. But the threat has always been there. It's measured in degrees at any given point.
Yeah, can I answer that question too? I'm Stephen Powell. This is my first time in the room. I'm a retired military veteran.
Hi,
I did serve
Stephen.
16.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for your family to sharing you with us.
Yeah, so I went over there. I went to Iraq in 2003, and I was up near the Iranian border. So I saw a lot of things that was, let me see, how can I say this? Very disturbing and diabolical, right? Meaning, you know, their mindset and how they live over there is different from how we think in America. And this is my whole point is this, is that the war is a preventive measure for what can happen, right? Because if you understand the mindset and the historical context of what they've been doing, and if you read in the Bible, even if you look in the Bible and how and where they came from, there's always been a threat, and there's still going to be a threat. So what's happening is, from a military perspective, you want to put preventive measures in place so that if you don't want to wait to respond to something that's already happened, you want to respond with a punch first. Let me say it why, because how many people will get hurt if we were waiting to them to respond to us, and we're having people getting, unalived and everything else. And so from a soldier's perspective, yeah, it's hard being away from your family, being over there, but I'm protecting the very thing that I value. And that's how I live in the country. You have to, whatever you value is what you're going to protect, right? And so for me, when I was over there and I saw how the mindset of the people, yes, there are good people over there, but there are some evil people over there too also. And let me tell y'all, folks, I'm going to tell y'all something. It's a different mindset when you're over there. I'm talking about when you've seen things, Saddam Hussein was very evil too. He bombed his own people. There were a village there that he had took these nuclear gases and he had put them on the people because they were resistant against him. So you have to understand how the mindset of how people who wants to think this way, they get in power. And so I don't believe every person in Iran is evil. I believe there are some good people over there.
Steven, what's your MOS? Or was your
I-2 Alpha. I was in I-2 Alpha.
Okay. Because you said nuclear stuff. It was mustard gas used on the Kurds.
It was. I couldn't think of it was a Scud missiles. It was a missile actually. That's what it was. It was Scud missiles because we had Scud alarms. So he used Scud missiles on. I can't think of the town. It was up there near Fallujah. Actually,
is it Basra? Oh, so you were in Fallujah 2003. So you were there Fallujah 1 when they put the Blackwater bodies over the bridge of Fallujah. My late husband was there too as well with the Marine Corps Infantry unit.
Yeah, he was. Matter of fact, your husband's unit was with us, 1st Marine Division out of San Diego, correct?
He was out of there, yes, sir.
Yeah, so they actually saved us because we were having a hard time with Fallujah because they were so much. Because they were attacking our main supply routes and stuff. So we were trying to get water and food to the other, camps that we had over there. And so they would attack our main supply routes. And so, because we had to go through Fallujah. So the 1st Marine Division went over there and they cleaned house. I mean, they literally cleaned house.
Knock, you're dead. Yeah, it's basically what they did. I'm just not going to share.
Yeah, it was, but my whole point is that when I'm very patriotic when it comes to this country. And when I say if there's problems that we have, of course. Do we have an ugly history? Of course. But when you look at the freedoms that we have and what we can do, look how we're having this conversation on this app. Do you know in North Korea and other countries, you can't talk about the leaders and be free to do that? You understand what I'm saying? So we have to value what we have and what we're doing now. And we may disagree on things, but this is what I fought for. This is what I joined the military for. And of course, when I was over there, I said, man, I said, I'm glad that I could defend my country. Was there a possibility that I could have lost my life? There were many times I could have did, but because of God's grace and His protection, I came back to my family. But my whole point is this: is that it's a preventive measure, so that we can stop from what's going to happen or what can possibilities happen. And you have to understand that when you see the enemy trying to plan something and you see a threat, from a military perspective, we get it. We get at it first because we'll say, hold on, you're not going to do this. Because if you wait until they attack and then you respond, you might not be able to respond. So I hope this might clarify some questions and everything about people, about what's happening while the war is happening. Of course there's going to be disagreements, but at the same time, man, listen, we have the freedom, we have the opportunity to have our voices, and that's a good thing, and I'm going to land here.
And the goal is to corner China, because at the end of the day, Venezuela and Iran was their top two oil kingpins that they was running oil barrels from.
There you go. I was going to get to that.
Sean,
That's exactly.
Stephen, I added you, sir, and thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
Stephen, were you in Ramadi?
I was near Ramadi, so I was. It was an airfield up near Al Takata. It was called Al Takata Airfield.
Yeah, it's still in Al Anbar, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we were up there near the Iranian border, and what we were doing is we were supplying some of the units that was pushing Saddam, some of the forces up north back into the Iranian border. It was a very difficult situation that we were in because we had to supply all the infantry units and all the light infantry units because I was with the 82nd Airborne Division when I was over there.
Good to go.
So we were, so we replaced 3rd ID. When 3rd ID went over there, 82nd Airborne Division came over there and we replaced them. And so we were in Balao, I think we were in Fallujah, we were in what other parts we were in, but we were servicing all those infantry units and stuff. We were supplying them, plus we were helping out special forces. So
Al-Qaim.
Yeah, Stephen. I always ask that question about. Oh,
sorry, Sunset. I'll give it to you in just a moment. Interesting. Yes, I'm sorry, guys. I just want to make this point. Maybe a lot of people may not understand, but anyone that's served in the area or whose family is served in the area will understand why we have more of a disdain for terrorist groups and the countries that fuel these terrorist groups by proxy than anything. So Stephen was up there along the Iranian border. Why? Because you wanted to shut that actual flow of terrorists coming in that aren't even Iraqi, right? So then also when it comes to not just Iran, but then also Syria, that was an infantry battalion's whole job is to hold that line of Syria, not let the Syrians to come in to make it more of a clusterfuck than it already was. So it wasn't to battle the actual Iraqis all the time. It was always to battle people that actually wanted to benefit from the Iraqi community, country, to the detriment of the actual Iraqi people. They would come in, they would slaughter, they would use their women as children as shields, they would use their mosque, hospitals, and school kids or schools to harbor all their munitions, their terrorists and everything. So it's sometimes people don't understand, like, well, Hamas is nothing, Hezbollah is nothing, No, those are the ones that they pop around that whole Middle East that causes more harm than any other country, just one military group. So when you were talking about that, Stephen, I'm like, yeah, you guys did it along the Iranian border. Then 2 years later, it was along the Syrian border. So they had to go all along the Syrian border. They did a 9-city sweep, nonstop of clearing out, knock, knock, get all the bad guys out, you bad, you dead, go on to the next one, separate the women and children to find out who are the friendlies and who are not. So I think people don't understand the gravity of why there's a disdain for them and why a lot of military families can't stand Iran for harboring and letting those groups, those terrorist groups, come in and ruin their country, but also other countries in the area. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh no, I was just gonna say when I was asking him his MOS, this is because last time we had a guy come up here and I asked what his class was in the Navy, and he come to find out he was a chow hall cook on a ship. He was telling us how World War III was going to play out. So I always ask everybody's MOS.
I have a question, Stephen. Yeah. Stephen, I have a quick question for you. Because I was over in Israel when those Scuds were being shot. I was visiting, and I remember seeing the Patriot operators that were over there. Who is that Army that was operating the Patriot, or were the Marines doing that as well?
So in the Army, the Army usually has we have what's called an 88 air defense system, right? And so these Patriot missiles, I used to be in a unit that used to order these missiles, right? All these radar units. So you have a radar unit that identifies any type of Scud missiles or any missile that's coming towards, where the United States might be camped at or where we might be serving at, right? So these missiles, matter of fact, they have them in Korea right now. So if a missile goes up in the air, it's going to automatically identify it, and then they're going to automatically be able to shoot a missile to deflect that missile from coming over. So that's called air defense. And you have to, the thing about the air defense is, they can see those missiles coming. And and the reason why they were over in Israel, because the reason why they had them over there is because they can intercept those Scud missiles from either hitting the target. That's why
that was the first of the, that was the beginning, the birth of it. But it was weird because, I was over visiting and I remember something very distinctive that now you don't see, but when you had to go into a shelter, they had gas masks because of the fear of what was in those Scuds. And they actually had, I don't know about the accuracy, but they hit a very wealthy suburban town where the defense minister lived in a really nice neighborhood, and they hit a home right near his home. It was interesting what they were aiming for. But for some reason, there was something with those missiles back then that had an agent in them or a fear of a chemical agent.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking
about? Yes.
That's what they were trying to do right then. It's a nerve agent.
It's a nerve agent. Yeah, it was a nerve agent. And this is what Saddam did. Actually, I can't think of the town right now that we went to. I'll find it later. I have to ask my buddy. But we went there, and this is from 91 when he had sent those Scud missiles and hit that town, and the people were showing us where they had burn marks from where the nerve agent had hit them. So you have to understand how, when they're looking at Americans, a lot of these terrorist groups, they look at us as if they can unalive one of us, they got it's like a trophy to them because of what they believe. They are very radical when it comes to what they believe, right? You have a lot of the stuff that's happening over is because of this war of the Sunnis and Shiites, right? These are two Muslim groups that are fighting for power, and this has been going on in the Middle East for so long. And so this is why you have so many people, so many wars that happen over there, because somebody needs to be in power. They want to control everything. So my whole point is that when I went over there and we saw these things, number one, it makes you grateful for what you have in America and why you're over there. Number two, you want to protect, because I got children. I want my children to be raised. I don't want my children to be unalive because we're not protecting our country. And so this gives me the passion to say, hey, look, yes, we can have compassion on other countries that don't have the same thing. But I believe also that you have to have standards and borders, and you have to have things so that we can protect what we have. If we don't protect the value of what we have in America, then it won't be America anymore. And in my opinion, this is why I don't believe in open borders. I don't believe in things like that, because you're taking the value of what is country and it's being devalued by allowing other people to bring cultures and mindsets that's going against American culture and saying, well, this is America now. No, this is not how we operate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna land there.
Sean, did you want to chime in? Sorry, we were a little bit long, Sean.
Damn, I didn't.
And thank you for allowing me to share. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Oh no, thanks for sharing, Steven.
What the hell was I about to say?
We were talking about border, Iran. Is there an imminent threat? Bima asked
Yeah,
a question.
it was definitely an imminent threat. Threatening the petrodollar. Anybody that threatens the situation of that needs to be eliminated immediately. Indefinitely.
Okay, I like it.
Hey, brother. So I want to ask you, who got control of our ancestors' treasure box?
Wait,
Huh?
what?
Check that
I'm sorry. I don't.
Man. The goal is to corner China. Because at the end of the day, the ultimate showdown is when they try to take Taiwan. They need to make sure that Korea and Japan. May I finish? When it comes to Korea and Japan, we need to make sure that they have enough weapons. Japan has bought $60 billion in weapons. And Takaichi last year has scaled up $250 billion in defense. You have Korea that's literally both quality and quantity when it comes to the situation of military production. Korean defense stocks has been up 192% since last year. So once the ultimate showdown happens, then we can see essentially a complete boom, industrial boom. And you have $18 trillion that Donald Trump has essentially then raised from both CapEx, foreign direct investment, and trade deals on military production. Respectfully, President Trump needs to scale the defense budget from $1 trillion to $3 trillion by the end of his term.
over the edge,
And
bro.
Damn, man.
Yeah, man, keep talking. Nigga, you trying to put us up in some shit that we ain't gotta be. Nigga, when the last time you
Who speaks
Wait.
Josh?
Dude,
Okay, my bad, bro.
all this drunk ass babble, man.
At least he apologizes. Let's give him that. Keep going, Sean.
Like I
He's
said,
just
man.
excited.
When it comes to this situation, you're still talking. Dear Christ. Like I said, when it comes to those situations, military defense needs to go to $1 trillion to $3 trillion by 2028. Scenarios when it comes to China, we destroy any capabilities of Iran getting a nuke, and need to be able to make sure that we can keep on competing in space. Because most of the situation that we see in Iran has been done on what? The air, space, different altitude, photonics, military robotics, defense systems. Essentially, we need to put that brown noise where anyone tries to come into scenarios of certain protected zones, they need to be bleeding from their ears. Like how in Venezuela, how the security guard said, shit, I want to fuck with the United States. And now it's because of what? That machine then turned literally their stomach inside out, bleeding from the nose, shitting their pants, and literally destabilizing them without essentially dropping a bomb on them.
Damn, you getting dirty.
Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the military defense, nobody can't really outthug us. Nobody can't really bang with us. Because $1 trillion of investment, $3 trillion, hell, Japan has spent over $250 billion. China is literally someone that we can take out based off their radar, can't even track our B-2, our stealth bombers, our jets. And essentially, we need to make sure that we are the ultimate apex predator on Earth.
Clown. You sound like a clown.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for your comment, Sean. I think one of the most interesting things about the Iran situation is the imminent threat phrase, the imminent threat package that we were sold. A lot of people disagree with me, and that's okay. You could disagree. I think this is coming down to really just opinion, but it's very interesting. People get very frustrated with me Welcome everyone. I'm Bima, the most hated and dumbest person on the app. And if you were to describe what you mean by imminent as I love you, A-Check. I
Love you
speak
too.
the truth. I might be dumb, but I do tell the truth. Thank you, A-Check. So the imminent threat phrase is very interesting, right? And that's what I think is a lot that's being debated around this. If you were, I was so interested, and I was like, this is the first time I've done this, by the way. I just did this within the past 30 minutes. I went and I created tabs of all the best AIs, the best AI chatbots, and Perplexity, ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, Grok, Meta, DeepSeek, Cursor, Gemini, did I say that? Venus. And it's so interesting because I phrased it exactly as I phrased to you all. I gave the same exact prompt to everyone, and not one of them have come back and given me a yes indicator that yes, Iran was an imminent threat to the United States. And I asked them all to explain and give their own, to give supporting evidence or whatever. And we're talking, I'm not saying AI is everything, I'm not, but I also know that I'm not crazy, right? I've become under fire for pressing the room to explain what you mean by imminent threat, imminent nuclear threat. What is your criteria? Explain the criteria. And people seem to get very frustrated with that. So I think we can admit that. Was Iran a threat? Sure, Iran was a threat, but was it an imminent threat? I don't know. I still, I guess I'm empowered by AI agreeing with me. Of course, I'm sure somebody else, we can do a different prompt if anybody wants to offer me a different prompt to then run through all of these. I'd be happy to do that with your own question. But Pentagon tells Congress, no, Iran wasn't a threat. There was no, imminent threat. And your assessment on what we consider imminent threat, that criteria was not met. Not saying it's right, but just to open up discussion. Wondering, those of you who still believe that it was an imminent threat, I challenge you, create your criteria or provide your criteria. What do you mean by imminent versus, I guess here's an extra thing, and I'll end here. A lot of the chats, they admit that it was a preemptive, and that's what I also admit that it was a preemptive strike, but not a strike because of an imminent threat. Thank you.
Bima, I think you're asking the wrong question, personally, and we've went over this, 2 days ago, exhaustively. But perhaps you need to ask the question where it's a threat, first of all, and second of all, is it a good thing that we went into Iran and we stifled the ability to have nuclear capability? Whether the threat is imminent, why don't you take the word imminent, and with your AI and your Google, for me, I take out a big thick thesaurus and find all the different words similar to imminent. But why don't you focus on threat as opposed to imminent, and then decide whether it's a good thing that their capability was stifled and stopped from possessing and developing nuclear proliferation.
Yeah,
perhaps look at it that way.
Yeah,
I'll do that. Would you, Abby? Would you like to give me the phrase? I'll type it in exactly word for word.
Do you have a book? Do you own books? Just curious. Does anyone in here own books?
Yeah, I
I
actually
believe they have a movie.
thesaurus?
Abby, do you know what I just signed up for today? I'm really excited.
I don't mean to be in a disparaging way. Like I'm just like the old-fashioned way of looking.
It's the Libby app. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, which is an online your library. So when you go to your local library and you get your library card, this is now a online. So you can think of the massive amount of books that you're able to.
Do you have to show your ID to get that library?
You need to provide your local library card. You do.
Okay, so if you pick up, and I'm old-fashioned, I like thesauruses. So if you look at a thesaurus and you look at the word imminent,
well, I'm
just play with it if you want, or play with the word threat. Those two words.
Threat was what was sold to us.
Okay, but it doesn't. It's not a question. Threat is what is sold to us.
Well, we all agree that it's a threat.
Okay, so getting rid of it is getting. I'm going to be Socratic. I'm going to be Socratic with you.
Is North Korea a threat? Well, I would like that. Sure, yeah.
Okay,
but we have to have a back and forth, though. I'll answer your questions, but you have to answer mine. Fair?
Go ahead.
Okay, no, you could go first. I just want to know if that's fair.
Is
threat? You answer mine. Yes.
Is a threat something you should be concerned with?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and if the threat elevates to a higher level than basic threat, define the levels of threat. At what point should you be concerned?
Well, that's, I think, what imminent threat, that criteria was created.
Wait, I'm sorry, I should have said this to you. Answer it without using the word imminent. Use every other word but imminent.
So you escalate it when you can verify that the threat has escalated to a specific. It's mobilized into a specific and verified threat that's going to happen, right? Because before that, you're guessing, and people get mad and say things, and countries say things all the time and whatever, but it's not. They don't always follow through, right? So the idea would be to verify, to confirm, to verify what type of threat it is, to verify the time, location, place, to verify the threat is actually a legitimate threat.
Legitimate's a good word. So are we looking at something approaching? Is it forthcoming? Is it on the horizon? Is it, at what immediacy? Is it unavoidable? Define this threat in another word, and maybe you're stuck on the word imminent, but look at all the other words around it, and now you're sitting in a position of power, and you're assessing the vulnerability of your country and the world, because you sit in a position of a world leader, and you weigh all of those words around the word threat, and you have to make an assessment. So I being stuck on the word imminent, because that was the choice that day that was used in a speech. I mean, you could have used a lot of these other words that I just said, and I haven't, just sit with a thesaurus and come up with something brewing. Is it on the way? Is it inevitable? Is it pending? I mean, there's so many words to define where that threat, what level that threat is when you do an assessment. And I think that's an important process that someone or our intelligence analysis had to go through and come up with a decision.
Would you agree that if there was an imminent threat on the United States, let's say tomorrow, a particular country says that they are going to attack the United States with a nuke that they got from the black market, and they let us know. They say it's incoming, and in 24 hours we're going to attack. This comes from the top of a country saying that. Would you say that in that moment, that we would need a formal declaration of war, or a formal declaration of war would be justified?
I mean, there's so many facts to that. What did our intelligence discover? What black market? How do you buy a nuclear weapon?
Yeah,
on
it's
the black
all been.
market?
We're gonna
Help me out on
steel
that one,
man.
guys.
We're gonna steel
Yeah, I
man it.
hear you, but I would look at all the circumstances surrounding it, and
But we're gonna
make
steel
a
man and say
good
that it's true.
assessment. And you have to make an assessment. That's why you have a whole huge department.
Right, but
of
don't focus
defense
on
or
that.
war.
Don't focus on that. You're missing my point. My point was, would we need to, at that point, get a formal declaration of war, or could we
what do you
just?
mean by a formal declaration of war?
Well, a country is
What do you mean
letting
by
us
a
know.
formal declaration of war?
A
Can a
formal
president make a
declaration is through
decision?
Congress.
Well, no, I don't think we need a formal declaration. We haven't done one since 1941. When did it actually pass through Congress for World War II? We haven't had a declaration of war with all of our battles since then. So do I think we need a formal declaration? No.
You don't need one of them.
Bima, let me ask you like this, Bima. I want to ask you this.
Go ahead, Mike. You take.
When it comes to the imminent part, like let's say like there's an abusive husband, right? And he only beats his wife when he's drunk, right? And he doesn't beat her when he's not drunk, but only when he's drunk. And let's say that the wife's brother, right? The brother of the wife, one day just comes over and just fucking beats the shit out of the dude, breaks his jaw, puts him in the hospital. He's like, no, you're not gonna beat my sister anymore. Like, you're done. And and then they're like, well, he wasn't drunk, so it wasn't like imminent.
Or what he,
You know what I'm saying? So that, or another example, a school shooter. Let's say a kid is stockpiling weapons and threatening to shoot a school in a month. Then it's like, now it's only a week out, and we arrest the kid because he's about to shoot a school up. Was it imminent? Now it seems like, Bima, you're arguing for like, the problem would be we'd arrest the kid on weapons charges. We wouldn't be able to get him on murder. So the problem would be the kid would only go to jail for like a couple months, maybe a year, and then he'd get out, right? It's like you want to wait for him to do the crime so we can have the problem. Imminent is this kind of weird thing, right? If it's a threat, it's a threat, period. And they were posing a threat.
Yeah, I think that you moved away from your first example because you realized that wouldn't be justified. We wouldn't be able to justify someone going over and beating up a person if they're not actively or
Well, he's
about
already beat her
to
ass like 4
commit.
times.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We both know that there's no law that's going to protect that person, that initiator. Now, if the husband, right, said, I'm going to, after I get off work, I'm going to come and I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you after work, right? Now that changes, okay? That changes everything. Or, with the school shooter situation, yes, imminent threat, yes, you have the criteria that's met. You have the tool, you have the time window, you have the plan. That is what an imminent threat is. But we didn't have any of those things with Iran. We didn't have a time window. We didn't have a particular threat. We didn't have them saying that we are going to do this. We didn't have none of that criteria was met.
How do you know this?
I mean, like the Pentagon.
Why are Americans feel that we deserve to know everything all the fucking time before it even happens when it comes to our national security? That's idiotic. That it doesn't work like that. The other thing is, Bima, when you're talking about all your AIs and everything you put in and you worded the perfect sentence you thought to be able to get a better outcome, you had some information holes. And the information holes is exactly what I talked about, is what you don't know or AI doesn't know or AI will never learn because it's classified. You're talking about military strategy, you're talking about intel, you're talking about military history, you're talking about present conditions right now that are changing every single day. So when you have those holes, you're only going to get a top level, not an actual organic level information to get an authentic outcome, because you're missing some data points in that question.
Yeah, so I agree. I understand what that. Yeah, I understand what that. But would you agree that if anybody were to know, though, because I'm not asking for I want the time, date. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking to our intelligence, was that criteria met? Because you said it's met, so I'm just asking, was that criteria met? And would you agree that more than anyone, that the Pentagon and the intelligence agencies of the United States would have the best idea of whether or not Iran was an imminent threat? Yes or no?
Yes, but you know when they do that
Okay.
and make that determination. But wait, ma'am, do you know when they do that and make that determination? They always provide it at the post-action brief. They've got a pre-action, then they got the shit going on, and then the post-action. They can't actually and offer actual. Let me see. Oh no.
You guys.
Okay, sorry, you can hear me still.
Is necessary.
They can't formulate what that is going to be until post-action. We're still in the middle of it. We literally are still in the middle of it. So they can't actually say like, oh, well, this is right, this is wrong. We don't know what the next plans are going to be. You have to understand, this isn't something that the Pentagon just said willy-nilly, oh, we fucking bored, let's flex a little. Go on, we're going to do this. This has been planned out, trained for decades. Decades. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like they have role played this with every scenario, with every Ayatollah, with every family member, from the first son, second son, third son, the uncle, and the uncle's goat. Like they role play this stuff out so much, and the CIA and their intel kind of helps to kind of develop how we're going to go forward. But we're still in the middle of it now. When the major operations are done, and the Department of War can offer a debrief of the actual actions, then we will have a better idea, and the truth will be beholden and show. But until that time, if we pressure our military and our intel to reveal it, now all we're doing is putting our military and our war fighters, our analysts, our agents that are out there in the field at risk. So after this is done, absolutely, they should be able to provide a brief, but not during.
We can't keep being reactive. Like,
Right.
okay, we can't just keep waiting for shit.
Right. Hey, Beaver.
Well, I was curious with Bima and her intellectual exercise. Bima, what's the opposite of imminent?
The opposite of imminent.
Say
would be
non-imminent.
Non-imminent. I know that.
What do you think the opposite of it is? And don't go Google.
Not
Just use your logic.
immediate. It wouldn't be immediate.
You think that's the opposite of imminent? Would it be remote? Would it be far away?
No, I wouldn't say remote.
Well, how about this? It's called the axis of resistance. It's called structured threat. And the structured threat's been like what KK said. The structured threat's been going on when they fund all of the terrorist groups.
Thank you.
They're getting intel the whole time. It's called a structured threat. They know the structure. They're watching it real time.
It's constantly
Okay.
imminent. Right.
Exactly. No. It's just structured, guys. Listen, you don't know that the thief is coming, but the thief is coming. Okay? You just don't know when. We all know on the ground in the Middle East what they've been planning. Okay? And you can look it up. Since 2022, it's called the axis of resistance.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. And what happens is most, like KK said, us Americans, because we're not in the Middle East, we don't even read enough to really check and see what's going on. They are bent, and we all have to know this, they are bent to destroy countries with a nuclear weapon. That's the actual threat of the theocracy. Okay? This is the imams, because they believe that in order for the imam to return, that there has to be a fiery explosion. Okay? Most people don't know that's the ideology. So when you hear axis of threat or axis of structure, that's what they're talking about. Okay? It's just a complete difference because we're going from a different sheet of music than they are.
And you
have to understand, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, Bima, but I do think there might be a gap in just kind of like where your knowledge might be as far as what Iran, especially what Edward was just talking about, right? Structured threat. So somebody earlier brought up if there's a man beating a woman constantly, but let's just say this man hasn't killed anybody. He's beaten his women in the past, right? He has a pattern of this, but he hasn't killed anybody. Your logic would say, let's wait till we actually see him progressing or escalating to that point. Then, we'll do something to stop it. Now, you back a little bit and you were like, well, yeah, if we know that this man is abusive, then he does pose an imminent threat, right? Because you're familiar. I'm not saying you experienced it, but we're all familiar with like domestic violence and with that being leaked. We've read stories about it, we've heard about it, experienced it adjacently or personally, but we know these things. There's not an information gap that you have with that.
He
right
can snap
now,
at any time. He can snap at any time. Yep.
Right, he can snap at any time, and you know this, right? We got stories, we got movies now with Iran, however we want to say it. You're just saying, oh, they didn't pose an imminent threat. And there's like a gap there. Like,
I ran to Canada and you ran to uranium.
Right.
Excuse me,
So
Mr.
there's,
AC, shut the fuck up and get out of the room. Mods, throw him out. Bye. Goodbye. We're not going to play with you anymore tonight. You disrespected Mr. Edward. We don't play that shit. So no. Bye. Leave. Thank you. Keep going, Sean.
so Jerry, thank you. This is good. So when you say like Iran they don't pose an imminent threat, that kind of displays there's a gap there that, there's not like a lot of knowledge. And I mean, hey, we're all learning, some people know more than others, but to say that they didn't pose an imminent threat, that's literally equivalent to saying, hey, the abusive husband doesn't pose an imminent threat to the person that he's abusing, the wife or whatever, right? People will look at you like, what? You're crazy.
What comes after the threat? Violence. What comes after the threat, though? If the threat is taken upon, what happens? Violence. So do you want the threat or do you want the violence?
Right, and
And
then look how it escalates, right? We can still keep it on the domestic violence, right? Because then what happens if the man or the woman, whoever is the aggressor, right? They end up doing something horrible, right? And then we look at the pattern. Oh, the wife had been calling the cops. She got a restraining order. She had been doing this, that, everybody been trying to help. Nobody did anything. And this happened for weeks. We knew it was going to happen, right? Your logic says, let's wait until something happens. When do you know it's going to happen? You don't. So are you going to be proactive? Are you going to be preemptive in this situation? Or are you just going to wait until the worst happens? And then you're going to try, what can you do once the worst happens? Once the cat's out of the bag, let's just say Iran does get a nuclear weapon. Then what? They're getting a nuclear weapon. To what? Not use it? They're going to use it. Now it's a totally different situation, right? That you're saying, hey, let's just wait and see what they do. Like that's not really logical in this scenario.
anybody else want to chime in for Bima's brain thought?
Bima's thoughts are the typical liberal thought. It's like, oh, is it imminent? What's your plan afterwards? What are you gonna do after that? Are you gonna send American troops in? What are you gonna do? It's gonna be another Iraq. Okay, I'm
What did you call it?
Sarah, to be honest, when people are talking, I didn't even talk. None at all. It's a typical liberal talking point. So like, what's your plan afterwards? Civilians are dying. The people of Iran don't want this. It's all the same rubbish, you know. The people of Iran want freedom, like everybody else. Imminent is like, oh, I'm 10 days away from nuclear bomb. Oh, I have a nuclear bomb. The same thing happened in North Korea in the 1990s when President Bill Clinton did deal with Kim Jong-un's father at the time, you know. And they kept making deal after deal. They kept giving him billions of dollars. And what did he do? He just lied. And eventually North Korea was like, oh, anyway, we just took all your money and we make a nuclear bomb anyway. That's why you can't do anything about North Korea at the moment. Can you imagine a nuclear-armed Iran with that shadow over themselves? That'd be like death to everybody. I mean, they shot a missile at Diego Garcia. and their president said it was like what they limited to 2,000 kilometers. Turns out it's more like 5,000 kilometers. You know what I mean? The U.S. has to dismantle this government. Not the Iranian people, obviously, but this government's got to go. And I'm sick and tired of people that never got off their couch. Tell President Trump, be like, oh, well, this is what, he knows exactly what he's doing. You know, it was so funny, 2 days before they fired Diego Garcia, the BBC was saying, oh, but the Iranian president, Pezeshkian, said, like, they limited to 2,000 kilometers. And then they fired a ballistic missile at Diego Garcia. And the U.S. had to shoot it down because Britain doesn't have weapons to shoot it down. You can reach London, you can reach every capital. I don't think the only one they can't reach is Dublin. You know? So if that threat is not imminent, I don't know what the hell it is. You are dealing with like an Islamo-fascist government. These people want death, they want martyrdom. Give them death and give them martyrdom. They can go with the 72 goats to, you know, Ali or whatever they call it. But I think like it's about time. We've been talking about this for 47 years. I mean, President Trump said this in 1980, 1 year after Ayatollah Khomeini got in power. He was like, you think Khrushchev is terrible? But you have to talk about Ayatollah Khomeini. So he's been talking about this for a long, long time, way before he got into power. So those retards also that say, oh, Israel, he's been talking about this for a long time. And it's in videos, it's in magazines and everything. I'm just glad they're doing something about it. And then after that, they can do something about Cuba. But yeah, I just think in times like this, don't listen to liberals. I mean, it's the same liberals that have just gone over to Cuba, closed the fucking blackout to have a fucking concert in the only 5-star hotel in the entire country. It's like the worst optics I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. But I think what America and the state of Israel are doing, I think it's terrific. They gotta go till the end. I have a lot of Iranian friends that are worried. You know, they're more worried about America stopping because it means the regime stays in power. They're more worried about the repercussions because if the U.S. stops, it's liberation. They call it a liberation mission. They don't even call it a war because these people have been fucked up for like so long. You know, terrible situation. And yeah, I just pray to God that President Trump doesn't listen to retards. He doesn't stop the war. And he topples the government. What comes after can't be worse than this evil bastard government they have. Cheers, KK.
Well, it's like the concept of like, you know, you hear people saying, you know, oh, well, if anyone ever fucking touches my kids, I'll fucking kill them. I'll fucking bury them. I'll fucking kill them. And you're right. If anyone ever touches my kids, I do the same thing. But if you could stop it before they do anything to your kids, wouldn't you rather do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got contractors in your house, I don't want to leave the contractors in my house, even if I'm going out front for a second. It's like, well, if they fucking touch my kids, I'll kill them. Yeah, no shit, but if I can stop them from touching my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd rather stop it than wait for it to happen and then react to it.
Violence.
I mean, can we say someone like Saddam Hussein for 20 years terrorized the world and was evil, and the thought that he would have had nuclear weapons. So when the Israelis went in and took out the nuclear facility or the reactors, whatever they were building. Can I like finish what I was saying? What the fuck is that? It was necessary. The thought of Saddam Hussein having nuclear weapons to the world and what we would have faced. I mean, we stopped it, and there are times the United States has gone into bad regimes and stopped them from, you know, before it got to the point of threatening the world. I mean, Libya, Gaddafi, and what Gaddafi was to the region, you know, what, I mean, some of these, there are historical references where a country has gone in and stopped a cancer from growing. And whether you like military action or not, sometimes it's necessary.
But did we really stop cancer in Iraq?
Well, we did. We definitely stopped communism with Che Guevara, but I think you love him, Necro. If I remember, you're a fan.
He's someone who I think does have principles, but
Yeah, has he brutalized a population, murdered people in the population? I mean, do you want to?
Necro, you would agree that after Saddam was taken out, there was people there pulling down his statue. So like we weren't.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Saddam Hussein was a dictator, but
the people.
And should he have had nuclear weapons?
Well, sorry, what?
And how would you feel if he had nuclear weapons?
He didn't have nuclear weapons.
But he could have. He was developing them, correct?
No, he wasn't.
What do you think Israel went in and took out? What year did they go in?
No, it was in 2003.
No, you're confusing nuclear with mass destruction. They're two different things. The nuclear weapons that he was building and the reactors that he was building, they took out. Someone remind me what year they went in.
It was 1981. Menachem Begin. It's called the Begin Doctrine. In 1981, the state of Israel bombed his nuclear reactors, which he got from France at that time, and President Reagan actually sanctioned the state of Israel for 2 years, I think, at the time. Yeah, don't take away the nuclear reactors, but it's called the Begin Doctrine.
Thank you. I can remember the year.
We should just be clear, it wasn't about nuclear operations, it was about stealing oil.
No, I'm talking about 1981.
Yeah, I mean,
1981?
I'm talking about 2003.
No, I'm talking about in Iraq. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about a strike on the nuclear reactors.
In 1981, Menachem Begin, the Prime Minister of the State of Israel,
Yeah, this is before Desert. He's talking before Desert
that was
Storm.
given him by the French. And at the time, you don't even know. President Reagan in 1981 told the state of Israel it was a dumb thing to do. And 8 years later, he apologized. The state of Israel bombed the nuclear reactor in 1981, and also in 2007, when Assad had a nuclear reactor. The state of Israel blew it up because they were getting it from North Korea. It's two different fucking things, bro. Get it correct.
Yeah, no,
I'm not talking about the U.S. I'm talking about the state of Israel blowing it up.
J-Check. Yeah, I understand. I was talking about Iraq, so.
I am talking about Iraq.
Yeah, I'm talking about the.
He's talking about the WMD thing, bro. He's talking about the WMD.
I'm talking about Iraq in 1981.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about nuclear capability now.
That's what we were talking about when you and I were talking, so.
No, I'm talking about Iraq, bro. When the state of France gave Iraq a nuclear fucking reactor, and Menachem Begin blew it up. It's called Operation Orchid. Look it up.
I know.
Blow it up in 1981.
Check. He's talking about the invasion of Iraq in 2004.
But I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about nuclear reactors and the idea
I wasn't talking about that.
of Saddam Hussein having nuclear weapons. I asked what he thought of Saddam Hussein or what we remember of the 20 years plus that we were terrorized in the world by him, and the fact he lost the capability of nuclear proliferation. That was the point I was trying to make. This isn't any different.
Dude, have y'all seen that shit of Saddam when he took power? Like the first day he took power, he walks up into the big meeting and he sits down and he fucking starts calling out the people that were dissenters, and they were literally escorted out and executed right then.
Yeah, I have fantasies about that. Doing that on Clubhouse with people that I hate.
It's fucking nuts.
Do we have an assassination room, Peter?
I swear
to such as who, Peter.
Well, that's what's wild, that we don't kind of fully grasp as Americans. That's how it just works over there. I think somewhere in the 80s, I don't know the country it was. I want to say Bosnia or some weird shit. But they arrested the husband and the wife, the leaders, and they arrested them, had the trial, took them out back, and executed both of them. Bang. All on the same day. It's that's crazy. Can you imagine?
The husband and wife leaders of, I know what you're talking about.
I want to say it starts with a B. It might not be Bosnia, but it was something like that.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Are you talking about Saddam?
No. It was it was this couple. It was the guy who was the leader. He was a piece of shit.
Talking about the Romanian one. You're talking about the Romanian one when they saw
Romania. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Eastern European.
Yeah, Romania. It was Romania.
You're talking about the Romanian one. They got
That
stuck in
Romanian
front.
dude, bro. They fucking
Yeah.
arrested
It's a
him.
dictator.
Yeah, they arrested him, put him on trial, took him out back, and shot him and his wife like that. Boom.
Yeah, on fucking camera, yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy, bro.
Abby,
Yeah.
the operation you were talking about in 1981 was Operation Babylon.
That was the name. That's a great name for it.
Yes.
Even the Russians, like you think about the Tsar, the Tsar Nicholas or whatever, like 1917 or 1918. Like they overthrew him. They took him, all of his kids, his wife down into the basement and just shot them all.
The Romanovs.
The Romanovs, right? This is like this is like less than 100 and something years ago. This isn't even that long.
Are those the ones that had Rasputin as like the family friend?
Yeah.
Did you see that TV series about it? Anyone see that? The Romanovs?
Yeah, but can you imagine like the leaders of your country, their entire family and their kids being taken down to the basement and just executed with machine guns? Like that's fucking nuts.
So it would be like Trump
Like, how crazy that
reading off names. Like, he would say
That's how
like
they
Caitlyn,
operate over there, bro.
Caitlyn Jennings stepped forward, and they would come and get Caitlyn and take her, or Caitlyn Collins, and take her away. And Jim Acosta.
It's crazy. Like that's how your regime, that's how your leadership changes. They execute them. They just like shoot them all with machine guns. Like what?
I mean,
the
Nicola
fuck?
Kochevsky was pretty bad for
Crazy.
Romania. I mean, he led the have you seen videos of Kochevsky in like the 1960s when President Nixon goes there and everybody's like waving like fucking communist flags and everybody's having. He was a brutal dictator. I'm not surprised they took him it's on video. He's dead. You can actually Google his death on video when they killed him.
It's just
And then
different
they
over
Romania
there.
free.
Look at how Saddam died, bro. Like Saddam got overthrown, and they gave him to his people. He took him down to some shady ass basement. They just hung him. Like that's fucking
Gaddafi
nuts.
too.
They just fucking hung his ass. Like, can you imagine like our president gets overthrown and some radicals just take him somewhere and just hang him on video? It's fucking crazy. Like it's just different over there. And this like happened in the 2000s, right? Was Saddam like what 2006, 7, some shit like that?
2006, yeah.
They just fucking these people took him and just hung him in some crazy makeshift fucking gallows. It's fucking nuts.
It's
Yeah,
not,
but
not
your
safe
president
you.
is actually elected though.
Yeah, if it is not nuts if you live under their dictatorship.
Oh, right, fair, right. Say to us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
To you guys, yeah, but
Yes, fucking
because I know if the supreme leader of Iran was arrested by the people, they would tear him in pieces, you know.
And nobody would do nothing. They'd be like, all right, word. It's nuts. Just how it is.
The rage they have from those guys, you know, is unimaginable. I mean, they have the right as well. Just look how many people they killed. They executed, killed, and tortured, raped. God knows how many people.
Big Bird, can I ask you a question?
Who speak what?
Minister.
There's not a minister on stage, sir.
I say just ask it and see what happens.
That's a good.
I mean, well, practice. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Like, yeah, thanks, sis. Yes, ma'am. How you doing? But yeah, I was just trying to see, when I was up on Jam, right? I was up on Jam, and when Thomas, it was kind of like spooked. What did you say? I'm gonna get that well, this guy.
Talking to us or Mike?
You guys
Don't know.
It's like the movie Airplane. I'm sorry, I'm just having that moment here.
That's the question you asked.
Speak.
You asked the question.
We need an old woman to come and translate the guy.
Wasn't that Beaver Cleaver's mother or something?
Oh, that was a great scene. You remember the scene where they show they give A-Check a basketball and he automatically knows how to alley-oop?
Yeah.
I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
I didn't know you liked the sun.
You guys are fucking pricks, bro. I think you were killing it, dude. What's up, man? God, you guys, you're so rude.
Hey, that's misguided me, huh, man? Hey, man, what's going on, y'all? Hey, listen, man, John, listen, it's the book of John.
I think this is our friend who is the theater teacher.
Minister. Hey,
Douglas?
The book of John? We don't know what you're saying, bro.
Do you think I'm right, Douglas?
Translates. Can you hear me now? Yeah, true.
He said the book of John. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Hey, man, so...
I'll be your drunk translator, go ahead.
No, don't come here with the book of John, the book of
Might be good.
The book of Daniel and everything else like that. Yeah, that's terrible, bro. Don't do that. I don't want to become a Hebrew Israelite today, bro. I'm sorry.
Be careful, because you might be entertaining angels.
He said be careful because you might be entertaining angels.
I know it's your truth, and you can live the life you want to live, but we're not talking about the book of Daniel, bro.
I can go anywhere. But listen, hold on. But let's stop right. No, I'm coming. Let's start right there with Thomas.
Okay.
Let's start there with Thomas, he said.
Yeah, no, we're just starting right there. Let me sit down first. Go ahead.
Actually, we usually start with Genesis, Exodus.
My wife's an immigrant,
Leviticus,
so her English is
you know,
good.
like in chronological. We start with chronological order, bro. Genesis, Exodus,
Hey,
Leviticus,
Ted, stop it, man. You're getting off his train of thought. We're at the book of Thomas, which is like Jesus'
I just want one thing. So I found some really great evidence to support and to support everybody's argument that scientific evidence about the threshold and how specifically the time that it would take for their the 60% to be turned into an actual weapon. And now I'm steel manning with the utmost, like I'm using the best information that I've come across, which by the way, nobody here has given me, thank you. So clearly I would like, I'm not happy with my level of free stuff, and I'm expecting the quality of the argumentation to get better. But I digress.
Bima, why would
And
they
so I'm not done. Hold on, wait a second. So I've been able to find excellent by steel manning, by making your argument, okay, which again, I would like to say for a second time, nobody has been able to deliver as wonderfully as I've been able to steel man it myself. Okay. I mean, like, I'm actually convincing myself over here. I'm like, oh shit. Now I'm like in a heated debate with these. Hold on, wait a second. So I'm in like a heated debate now
Just
with
say
ChatGPT, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, this could have been 1 to 2 weeks, okay? Like, you don't understand. Like, the science, the Institute of Science is saying that this capability, and you know, and of course, hold on, if, Mike Allen, if you interrupt me one more time.
Why would they need to get
I'm
the
so
60?
excited. I'm so excited
Why
to
would they
share
need the
this. Do
60?
you have to keep interrupting? Would you like to
60
talk
for
first?
60 is only for what?
Do you want to talk first and then I can finish? Because it's
You don't need
Go ahead, Mike
you
Allen.
don't need
You
60
finish.
for a dirty bomb.
No, it's not. It's the 60%. Listen, I'll finish once Mike Allen gets whatever he
No,
needs
go
off his
ahead.
chest.
You're right. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm in this heated back and forth. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, Iran isn't going to give us the necessary criteria that we're going to need to be able to terminate him in a threat the way that the United States used that same operative, like, operation to just attack. It's the element of surprise, surprise, right? And all this other stuff, and I'll go back and forth. And it doesn't matter how I'm moving and how I'm arguing this and how quickly, if even the capability is proven, if even the hostiles, there are things that are missing to prove that it's an imminent threat, and it's still saying
Let's just say
that
that your threshold is when it hits LA
Hold on.
or Tel Aviv.
No. Even
No,
if
because
the capability is there, because the hardening capability,
You
no.
can't attack anybody until they attack you.
What I'm specifically arguing was the imminent threat claim, and no matter
You're
how
saying
hard I'm
until they
arguing
actually
with it.
attack.
All right, what is wrong? Rich? Do you want to go?
You've done this
You wanna
since
go? Go ahead.
journalism.
You go, and I'll finish when you.
Honestly, just an little rich fucking idiot.
Oh, thank God. Okay,
Continue.
wonderful. So thank you, I appreciate it. So I'm going back and forth, and even giving this information, like the last thing I said, this is one of my arguments. I said no, and I was like, you're wrong, because Iran wouldn't deliver and give us the necessary criteria in order for us to determine that there would be an imminent threat in order to respond in time. It's similar to what the United States did. We didn't tell Iran that we were coming. They would have done the same thing. So the fact that they were weeks away from a nuclear weapon, the fact that they support multiple terrorist proxies, there is reason to believe that they would have used them and coupled it with the same surprise technique that the U.S. used on them. And the U.S. got one up on Iran, essentially, and that was the imminent threat. We had that very small window, access window, to be able to remove this threat. And so they're like, you're making now a very serious strategic argument. Bill doesn't provide the claim that Iran pose an imminent threat to the United States, right? There is specific criteria, okay? There is a recognizable argument for preventative and preemptive strategy, which is very clear, but those are not the same thing. A state can be approaching dangerous capability without there being enough evidence that an attack on the United States is so imminent that the force is necessary. Article 51 of the UN chapter preserves self-defense if an armed attack occurs, and if border anticipatory theories are usually judged against a strict necessity standard, not merely against danger. So where the critic is strongest, so I'm the critic, right? And which is you guys are the critics, right? So in this particular way, the critics is strong. Now here, pay attention, because this is your best talking points, because clearly you guys can come up with, sorry, I'm just picking on you. The critic is strongest on this way. Waiting for a nuclear adversary to announce its intentions is unrealistic. States don't typically send formal notice that they're about to cross the line. And the Institute for Science and International Security, this was the part I was just like, geez, that's really good, has argued that Iran's breakout time for producing enough weapon-grade material had become so extremely short that that's been ranging from days to about a week or two for the first quantity of a weapon-grade material. So the critic is right that the timeline for I don't know what fissile is, FISSILE, fissile material production, was compressed enough to alarm any serious strategist, but why this still is not sufficient. The problem is that you're treating surprise as though it automatically satisfies the imminence, and it does not, right? So that would erase the legal and analytical boundary. Yes,
slow down.
Between self-defense and preventative war. The mere fact that Iran could have used surprise does not establish that Iran was about to attack the United States. Under the stricter public law framework, the issue is not whether Iran was dangerous or deceptive or hostile. The issue is whether the threat had become sufficiently immediate that it was necessary to justify at that moment. So the hidden assumptions that we're making, right, you guys?
Do you want me to give you the definition of fissile?
Abby, can I say one quick thing?
Although, do you need the definition of fissile?
Not
Or...
let me off the hook. Go Abby and whoever that other young lady was.
Jane, very, very nice.
Well,
Hold on. Do you need the definition and understand what fissile is?
Yeah, that would be, thank you, Abby.
So it's atomic isotopes, and it's usually an element of uranium, plutonium. And what's capable of sustaining a nuclear fission chain reaction, which would then have enough material essential for a nuclear weapon.
Now that we know that, can you go back to that fissile sentence and read that fissile sentence?
Yeah, read the sentence again now.
Okay, give me just a second. Let me find it.
It was like 4 minutes ago.
Yeah. You're not gonna find it. That's what I was thinking. But I think we remember.
I believe you read that.
Good addition.
It was like 3 sentences ago.
I'm gonna do
It was like 4 sentences back.
They're like,
Shift F. Fissile, FISSLE.
Fissile, why? Oh yeah, this was a word. Why does it still not prove imminent threat? Because there are still several steps. One, enough fissile material quickly, or because there are several steps between A, enough fissile material quickly, and B, an imminent threat to the United States. Those steps include, at minimum, a decision by Iran's leadership to actually build a bomb, conversion from nuclear weapons capability to natural defense.
The sentence before the word fissile.
Stop. Hey,
Jane, let us go through this exercise with her. Just chill for a second. Go ahead, Bima. What's the sentence before? I'm not just doing it.
I want to go to bed. I want to say. Well, it's okay. We could, because we'll be up. Go ahead.
Agreed.
Great over. Thank you. There's a whole thing with Trump that I think is getting missed. If anyone is grown up in or near the New York people who are like Trump's lawyer, Roy Cohn.
God. Why are we going there? We're in the middle of talking about
this is
nuclear issue.
You're overcomplicating it. He's gonna go.
What, you want to talk about Epstein? Is that where you're going, Jane?
It's not, Abby. It's really nice of you, though, to let me try to get out a statement that's actually supportive of Donald Trump. He doesn't give a fuck. I think people forget that. He will hit first. It doesn't matter. That's how it is. It's just a rule. It's an ethos.
America.
So you don't really have to go through all these histrionics about, what was Iran worth hitting first? Of course.
But Jane, what do you think Rubio was thinking? Do you think he had any expertise on this? Do you think he came from any background that could have made an educated decision? Our Secretary of State? What do you think, Jane?
Yeah, Abby, I would imagine so.
Would you guys all agree that it's about fucking time we start punching first?
When you say Rubio, Abby, are you talking about his
time in the Senate with Foreign Affairs, and he was specialized in the access of evil, and this was the area. This was the area when he served as a senator that he concentrated a lot of his efforts on, and he spoke very often, a lot of public speaking about it. And it was, if you look at the Senate and who had the most expertise on the subject, he would be in the top 5 on it. So when I ask, you're talking about Trump just shooting from the hip, and as if it doesn't matter what Trump knows or doesn't know. So I asked about his main advisor, who sits in, he has 2 hats on, or 3 now?
He has 3.
Okay, so he sits in a pretty high advisory position to our president. Do you think he had the ability to make an educated decision on that?
He was talking about this 5-10 years ago.
Thank you. I'm taking this off Trump for a second. No, exactly, KK. Take it off Trump. Everyone's got the spotlight on Trump. Let's talk about who else was a decision maker on this. So the first person I could think of is Rubio, who was in his ear and was wearing 3 hats on advising on this: national security, Secretary of State. So Jane, what do you think about Marco Rubio?
Jane, you got anything else, Jane? So I'm about to tear apart Beaver.
Go. Be nice.
Nothing else.
Okay, just wanted to.
Great submission, Jane. Welcome to the stage. Bima, what the fuck, Bima? I hope your plants are doing well, but this is crazy, Bima. The idea that they're like, well, they're just at 60%. You don't need to get at 60% unless you're making weapons. They're talking about what they want to have it for their people and their electrical shit and blah blah blah, energy and shit. You don't got to get to 60% to do your energy. There's no need for it. And then now it came out, their missiles can go, 4,000 kilometers? Everyone said it can go 2,000 kilometers. Now it turns out a dumbass Iran. That's how dumb they are. They're like, well, watch this. We're going to shoot it 4,000 kilometers. Ha ha ha. Guess what that means?
So what does that mean?
They've been fucking lying to us.
Exactly.
They've been lying to us the whole fucking time.
That's the reason why, Bima, all of your information is based on what is shared as actual truth. We do not know what the actual truth is. And the assumption it is X, Y, and Z, knowing that we are not playing with a good faith player in Iran, it's not wise to do. So that's why the IAEA was not allowed to go in there for how long, and they pushed it off, and I'm sorry the UN is worthless for that, but there's data points that you're giving your sources to formulate this overall schematic for you to understand it and say and validate it if it's true or false, it was imminent threat. We don't know for sure what the timetable is, and now we don't know for sure what they actually have, because when they shot at Diego Garcia, that was a flex. That totally was a flex. Like, okay, we know we're hurting. You took out our top tier leaders and whatnot, but we still got something. See, here you go. We're still flexing. And we didn't think they could go that far. That made France react. That made the UK react. So we don't know what actually that they have, or to actually what level. I'm sure they're going to hold some cards true. And then on the other part, excuse me, just one second, please. And then the other part is what I said before is you don't know, nor does the chat bots or AI know exactly what the actual intel is, and it ever going changing. But like they lied. We need to always assume that they're going to lie because that's all they've done in regards to this whole scenario with these missiles and nukes. We need to assume they're lying because that's what they've showed us in action.
Let me just, that is called taqiyya, okay? So if you're familiar with the term taqiyya, you know what it is. As you're dealing with a regime that lies to its own people. They shoot down the plane. You all, I think, remember the Ukrainian plane that they shut down? And for 4 days straight, in the TV, in the state TV, they were saying that it was not us. They were lying to people, and at the end, with the satellite images that the US and Israel released and showed that the missiles were launched from Iran, then after 4 or 5 days, they finally admitted that, yeah, it was us, it was a human mistake, blah, blah, blah. But before that, there are videos that the foreign minister of Iran came to the TV and said, no, it was us, it wasn't us. If it was us, we would have said it, blah, blah, blah. The high-rank IRGC came to the TV, the experts of the military and missiles and flights, they brought everyone to the TV and denying the fact that they shut down the plane themselves for 4 days. They look straight into our eyes and they lie to us. It's been going on. That's just one example. I have many, many more of these examples to tell you. That's how they fucking lied to their own people. And now they accept that when they are not honest with their own people, you guys accept that they have like a honest foreign politics and they don't lie to you guys. That's just stupid. So.
Well, Bima, I wanted to end here with this with Bima real quick. And look, I love Bima. We've talked a lot. I sincerely hope your plans are well. Like if like me and you would have a great time in the real world. We go to Dave and Buster's. You talk to me about plants, which I know nothing about. I talk to you about sports. It'd be a fucking blast. But I'm telling you this right now, Bima. You're so off base right here. Is that imminent threat? This is what I think Adam was trying to get with you. Like, okay, if me and you were to walk into a room, and they're like, hey, everyone who thinks Iran's a threat, just a threat, goes down on the left side of the room. Me and you would both walk to the left. Now, if they're like, well, who thinks they're an imminent threat? Now, you would walk to the right. I would still stay on the left, right? If they're an imminent threat, go to the right. If there's just still a threat, go to the left. You would go to the right. But that means we both agree they're a threat, right? Because, we both go to the left. There's a threat. Now, you use the word imminent. This imminent shit is what you're getting tied up on. And it's not about Iran. They fund other organizations. So the more the powerful they get, the powerful all these little cells get, right? The Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, all these other motherfuckers, right? So then they fund all this other shit, right? So now the Houthis get more powerful. All this other shit gets more powerful, right? It's not about Iran. Iran's like the epicenter of this whole thing. And like I said, so Like, it's time we start punching first and asking questions later. Like, like, I don't want to bring up movies, but you see in movies where it's like a war movie, they're like, what's the rules of engagement? We can't fire until we're fired upon. And they're like, God damn it. Like, enough. Like, enough of this reactive bullshit, bro. Like, Iran, stop fucking being dead to America. Stop attacking embassies. Stop kidnapping Americans. Stop fucking attacking us. You don't gotta attack a mainland USA to attack America. They've been attacking us, our way of life. Like, we can talk about the oil and all the other nonsense, but Bima, bro. Like, Bima, like, come on. Now they're pissed off because they're losing, so they're gonna start shooting down civilians in the street.
Mike, do you really think you can change people's, like, thinking in this age? I actually think the video...
Bima's an awesome human.
Yeah, just let her be. Like, the day that I was talking about...
I mean that,
Bima. People killed and everything. She's an awful person. She was asking me for evidence. She wanted proof that people had died, and I'm not gonna even talk about that. But I picked the video on the top, guys. It's on X. Please try to go look at this video. So this is one of the first protests that broke out in Iran, 1999. This was not an anti-regime protest. It was the students. This was the students in Tehran University. It was Tehran University. The students were complaining, about why don't we have free press. Ghalibaf is the guy that's believed. You know how Trump says even within this government they're like moderate people. So there is intel that Ghalibaf is the guy who Trump is making negotiation and deal with. So this video on the top, that's not AI. That video was taken in 1999. That's why the quality is bad. But the guy that Trump is negotiating with, the good guy in IRGC, is the guy who ordered this video. So which was his way of handling the protesters, the students asking for free press, was to tie their hands and feet. Bima, make sure you watch it because you love evidence. So this is evidence.
Don't tempt Bima with a good time.
So he asked to tie their hands and their feet and throw them off the university building. This is 1999, and this man is Ghalibaf. This is the guy that Trump is talking to right now. So when you guys see someone like me or Donna, or people who are very, like, sure, they're like, there's no way Trump would do this. I love Trump. I know Trump is a good man. For me to believe Trump would make a negotiation or put some fucking filthy ass guy in office like this guy who tied people's hands and feet and throw them off the building, for me to believe that, I should first have TDS. Does that make sense, guys? Like, listen,
Sarah, can I ask
we
you a
didn't
question?
have... Yes.
Okay, I don't want to ask your age, but I want to
45. I'm 45 years old.
Okay, so you're 80, what, 80? 80, 81?
80, exactly. 80, 19.
All right, I'm 84. So my brother was born in 79. Okay, but whatever. So, tell me when I'm wrong here. Melchizedek, what's his name? The guy in the 50s. Melchizedek?
Ahmed Bishop?
You're talking about Moshe. You're talking about Moshe. You're talking about Moshe in 1953.
What's it?
You're talking about Moshe in
Mossadegh.
1953.
Okay. All right, so stop me when I'm wrong. So Mossadegh had this thing, and they had the British, this oil thing. It was like called like the Anglo-Iranian oil or Anglo-Persian oil thing, whatever. So Mossadegh or whatever, he nationalizes it, which pisses the Britons off. So then they throw this coup, which gets him out, right?
Okay.
Installs.
Can you just stop there? When you're saying coup starts from top to bottom, right? Not from bottom to top.
Whatever. It was an outside force that overthrew him, or started the overthrow. I'm wrong there. So whatever. So they get him out, and then the Shah goes in, right? So the Shah goes in, and then the Supreme Leader was exiled at this point in time.
There was no Supreme Leader at that time.
Okay, so then in 1979, they kidnapped the hostages to get the Shah out. And you know what else I heard? that Jimmy Carter was running for president, and Reagan, who was also running against Jimmy Carter, Reagan negotiated a deal that would not allow the hostages to be released until after the election. Because if the hostages got released before the election, it would help Jimmy Carter. So Reagan negotiated with the Ayatollah or whatever to, okay, go ahead.
No, actually, it's because Jimmy Carter, don't forget, he sent U.S. Delta forces and SEALs to go
And they all
rescue
got
the
killed,
hostages.
right.
They all got killed and they all got crashed.
Right.
President Reagan said, we're gonna, like, if you don't release our hostages, we're gonna kill you all. And then they were like, oh, well, we'll release it when you come to power. And don't forget, Reagan was the first American president that sunk the entire navy of Iran.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that there was a deal to release them under Carter. They would have.
No, there was no deal.
Hold on, A-check. This is a conspiracy hole I went down, but they're saying there was a deal to release them under Carter. I know they had the botched mission, or whatever, but it was even before the botched mission. Reagan promised the new ruling regime, which would be the supreme leader, I guess, after they overthrew the Shah, right? He promised the new regime with Israel weapons and some type of power. So they wouldn't release the hostages until after the election, because releasing the hostages would help Carter. So once Reagan got in power, then they released the hostages, which made Reagan look like the hero, and they funded the new rulership, which is the guy, the Ayatollah guy, right?
Ayatollah Khomeini, but that's not true, because in 1980, Saddam Hussein attacked Iran. He invaded Iran. So Iran was already at war before even President Reagan took the power.
But
so there's no way the U.S.
Did we help put the Ayatollah guy in?
No. Yeah, under President Reagan, you did, because President Ayatollah Khomeini was in exile. He was in exile first in Iraq, and said, "Wait, I'll just tell you something." But Ayatollah Khomeini was in exile in Iraq, and even Saddam Hussein said to President Jimmy Carter, "I need to kill Ayatollah Khomeini. This is a terrible person. I have to kill him."
When did he get?
And Carter
when
said
did he
no.
go into exile?
And he went to exile in the 1960s, and then he went to Iraq first, and then he went to France.
It was like 17 years.
When he landed back in Tehran, he landed on an Air France flight. That's what the French were the one that really put him in power.
I remember there.
The French screwed the Iranians, and Carter was a weak, like the worst president ever in the history of the United States. For the combination of Jimmy Carter and a combination of the French that were in charge. And then after that, he called it the Red-Green Alliance.
Wait, pause, you're going
and the
too far.
Islamists.
Wait, so the Ayatollah comes back. We're there. That's where we are. The guy comes back. They overthrow the Shah, right?
The Shah was overthrown already when he came back.
Okay.
Because the military stood by the people's side, and they joined the Iranian. I mean, they did like some kind of a coup against the Shah, and so Shah left.
I heard the coup was started by the CIA to overthrow the Shah now. So they overthrew the Melchizedek guy to have the Shah. Then they overthrew the Shah guy to get the Ayatollah guy in there. And then now it's like we're going against the Ayatollah guy. So like, where was it in the 90s? Let's go to the 90s. In the 90s, the supreme leader's in charge, yes?
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
president.
Khomeini is in charge, not Khomeini.
And then what happened
Khomeini
throughout
died
the
at the
90s?
end of the 80s.
Yeah, and Khomeini came. Then the second supreme leader.
And so what was it like in Iran throughout the 90s and the early 2000s?
What do you mean? What do you mean? This video I posted on the top is in 1999.
Just watch the video. Iran has been held since like 1980.
Pima, did you watch the video I pinged on the top? Because you always ask for evidence. I want to make sure tomorrow you don't say, "Oh, I wasn't there, I didn't hear it." I need to see evidence.
Yeah, I'm gonna just respond to that really quick. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I'm gonna look at that. But I just want everybody that is listening, because I know it's a sensitive topic, and I understand that. But
no, it's not about being sensitive. It's about.
Can I finish?
You sound like a Holocaust denial when you ask for evidence.
Well, right, and I understand that that's how you feel, right?
It's not how I feel.
A substitute, right? But what you're doing is what you're doing.
We have a
Okay, I'll let you go first.
We have a fair election in America. We're not under dictatorship. Voted. We have a president, right? He was briefed by CIA, by Israel. They put evidence in front of him, and he came on TV multiple times. He said 36,000 and more people were killed, and you were asking me for evidence.
Yeah, if they said the same, you know what's funny about people like Bima? If they said the same thing about Gaza, you'd be like,
That's what's
people like,
funny
oh,
about
it's terrible, this is horrible, this is the worst that ever happened in humanity.
They're just
You know,
trash. That's what they have in common.
She would take people like people
Oh
who
my
take
God,
the people
trash.
of the Gaza Ministry of Health 100%. If the Iranians tell you 30 to 50,000 people kill people, it's like, oh, where's the evidence? If a Gaza terrorist blows himself up, she's like, oh no, such an innocent journalist was killed. I am so sick and tired of leftists. I'm actually allergic to them. Sick people. Honest to God. And they only ask for like evidence and everything else. But when the Iranians tell you the 30 to 50,000 of their own people were killed, you don't care. You don't protest. Not a single protest has come out in London, in Paris, in Berlin, Washington DC, whatever. And you have more evidence of that that's happening. They killed 30 to 50,000 Iranians. None of you bitches protest. They killed like one journalist in Gaza, quote unquote journalist, that was a suicide bomber. You're like, oh my God, the Iranians fire a bomb at their own school. You're like, oh, the United States blocked 266 girls, and you talk about it for like a week and a half. You know what I mean?
Told her
Without
my
any
brother
fucking
was shot in
evidence.
the neck.
What? These people, sorry, I have to learn something. These people are sick people.
When I told her my brother was shot in the neck, she said maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I guess I don't know.
She doesn't give a fuck.
She
Don't
literally
lie on
told me
Don't
maybe
bear
he
false
was.
witness. That's disgusting,
Maybe
sir.
he
That's
wasn't.
not fair. I
You
never
are
said that to you.
disgusting. Why
I never said that to you. That's not nice. I would have never said that to you, Sarah. That's
You
disgusting. Don't
literally
do
said
that.
this to me.
Sarah, I
You
would
are
have never
a
fucking said that to you. Sarah, that's really wrong. That's really wrong. You know that I've never said that to you. Stop. Don't lie. No, you're a liar. You're a fucking terrorist, Sarah. You're bearing false witness. That's horrible. You're just making shit up. You know, and I'll tell you, yeah, that's what, exactly. Right. Let me know when I can go.
Freedom fighter, you don't get to talk. You already did a lot of talking. We listen to your words.
Well, you're IRGC, born and raised. I'm not surprised. Go ahead, it would be just like you. Go ahead, Iranian. Censor me. Go ahead, censor me. Sorry, bitch, you're in America.
Wait, what is she not calling?
Listen to this Iranian. This is what she wants to do. She wants to censor.
What does Bima call them on? Freedom fighters, right? She hates them.
Another bearing false witness. I've never said that. Sarah just wants to lie. False misinformation campaign. That's what Sarah does. Sarah, that's wrong, dude. You're fucking wrong, man.
I don't know if your brother was
you're
shot or
wrong.
not.
You're wrong, Sarah. That's not right. I know you're losing, but what you're doing right now is not right. It's not right.
Sarah, I want to ask another question. Hold on. I don't want to get into this whole thing they killed. I know they're a horrible regime. But what I want to know is how's the government work? Like an Iranian wants to open a business. How does it work? Do they pay taxes? What do they do with the taxes?
Everything, all the money goes to the military, to stealing. They steal money. They just fund the fucking Hamas, Hezbollah, all this bullshit things. They fund, like, I don't know the exact percentage, but it's something around 90% of all the money of these terrorist proxies. They come from IRGC.
Dana, are you there? Are you Iranian?
Yeah. Why do you you keep running, Alan?
I heard somewhere that people were like, irate, so you just want to make a good
Alan,
paycheck.
why do you keep running?
You're talking to me?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Why do you keep running?
What do you mean by running? Don't know.
I don't know. My English is not very good, but Alan no. Alan keeps saying I ran. So I'm just wondering where he's running.
Why do you run?
I don't get it.
That's a joke.
Iran, you call it Iran. He's like, what do you run?
All right.
It was a joke. I didn't get it.
Oh, yeah, because I speak American.
Iran.
Iran. He's like, it's Iran. Why do you run?
Well done, sir. Well done, sir. So I heard one time.
Yeah, so what was the question?
One time that a guy was like, the people that live in that place, they just want to make a good paycheck, right? They should make a good paycheck. And they want to and then they kind of some other shit. But how does it work? Like you make a paycheck, what happens to it?
What do you mean by making a paycheck?
Ask them how much tax you pay.
Oh.
Yeah, how's it work? Like, what does the government do with the taxes? Like, how's the Ayatollah guy? How does he live? Does he live in a state funded?
Lives in a multi-million dollar
paid for by
incredible property that when we take over that country, it'll be an amazing casino. It's like a gorgeous palatial mansion.
And I hear they have great public education.
So Dana, what percentage tax do you pay?
It's about depending on how much you earn, it's between 20 to 35.
And what does it get you? You don't vote for your politicians, right, so to speak. So, I mean, I assume the politicians are getting a paycheck also, but you don't really decide who's there.
Exactly. But that's the thing. To see where the tax money and everything's going, you have to go through the, what do you call it, the budgets that the government gives to the parliament to, it's like every year they have like a budget that they give to different institutes in Iran, and they send it to the parliament to vote for it, and of course it's going to be accepted. So basically the majority of the fund goes to first is the state TV of the regime. It's got a huge fund that goes to that one.
Like media?
Exactly. There is no free press or free media in Iran. It's just a state TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
let me add this, Donna. This state TV guys, they're so political and such a bad people. They're going to be one of the first peoples that the Iranian. They're probably going to hang them in the streets. They're going to cut them into pieces. That's how terrible these
just so you
people been.
yeah just
like the worst, Mike. They've been the worst people on the planet Earth.
Exactly. Just so you know, the head of the state TV is elected by the supreme leader directly.
Oh, well, there you go. So, Dave, not to put you on the spot, and again, like I don't know background or anything, but let's just say, maybe you have, I don't know. You have an idea and you want to open a business.
Yeah.
How does it work? Like, how does that work?
Well, it depends on the business. If it's a small size business, like you just getting like, I don't know, a couple of grand a month or something like that, and you don't expand your business and stuff like that, then it's okay. They leave you alone, and you just have to pay like taxes. Maybe you have to give like normal stuff, plus some additional stuff to the government forces, so they don't bother you so much.
What do you mean bother you?
Yeah, well, they make it like they do bother you in many ways. Like if for example, you have a company, in the company the staff doesn't wear a job, they come and just give you shits that like why the one in your company is not wearing a job. So you have to pay them some money to leave you alone, or from the So those are the kind of exactly extortion.
What happens if you get too big?
If you get too big, then the IRGC, which we call them SEPA, they're gonna take over your business by force. For example, we had, I think it was a Canadian couple, not Iranian Canadian couple, that started this app called Snap. It's like Uber in Iran, but it's called a Snap, okay? So when they started, at first it was, they were expanding it. It wasn't big. And then the taxi drivers started striking. And then after a while, they also, made them quiet. And then when it went on, as soon as the app got started to expand and grow, the IRGC started to blackmail them by, for example, the one story that went viral was that drivers raped a woman. One of the snap drivers raped, and that story went viral. And they said, this app has security issue, blah blah blah, and they shut it down for a week. And they made them to sell it to the IRGC and government institutes, with very low price. And once they got it, once they got the ownership of that app, then they started, all the stories went away, like all the security issues went away, all the strikes that taxi drivers had went away, so we knew that, it was them just causing problem because the business was private.
That's crazy.
I know.
I'll give you another example. They made my uncle, they forced them, their excuse was the sanctions, but medical devices, because he did like hard medical devices, he had like the import. He had this business for a long time, but he was like doing really good. So when Obama placed those first sanctions on Iran, whatever those Obama sanctions were, they forced him to sell his company because they were like, oh, there's sanctions. And he kept saying, there are no fucking sanctions on medical devices. What are you guys talking about? So they basically threatened him. So they took his company from him, though.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. I mean, any business that gets start to expand and gets big.
Yeah, and his business had because it was like import-export of medical devices, but it wasn't just in Iran. It was in UK, Dubai. They forced and took the whole thing from him. They did pay him well, though. I'm not gonna lie. I know they paid him what was worth the company, but he didn't want to sell. They forced him basically. They forced him to sell it.
Yeah, they do. Even with Digicala, they did the same thing with Digicala. It's like Amazon in Iran. They call it Digicala, and they did the same thing to them as well. So any app, any business, anything that start to grow or be big, they gonna take over. That's why I think about 80 or 90% of the Iranian businesses and economics is running by IRGC in Iran.
When I posted this thing on the top, the link that I posted on the top, I just wanted you guys to have a little bit of idea, why, for example, I personally don't see it possible that after all this bombing, all of this, I just don't see it possible for Trump to make a deal with someone who's done something like this. And not that he's changed, because somebody was saying in the chat, well, that was 1999. No, he's gotten worse. This guy has become more powerful. He's done more evil things. It's not like, oh, maybe he's changed his mind or he's became moderate. No. He's not even a reformer. He's part of the conservatives. Like because the reformers are supposed to be a little bit less religious and all that bullshit. But my point is like, I just don't see this happen. It's not what I want. Because sometimes people say, well, we understand that's not what you'd like, but this is what's going to happen. It's not about what I want. There was a reason U.S. President Trump, there was a reason when they realized, oh, any second we're going to have a civil war in Iran breaking out after they killed 40,000 people. There was a reason he said, stop, help is on its way. Like whether you guys like it or not, Iran is not Syria. There is the Strait of Hormuz, there's all these oil, there's all this other stuff. We just can't have civil war in Iran. We can't have instability in Iran. And then making a deal and putting someone from inside the government on power. It doesn't matter if Trump likes them or not. The only way that can stay in power is if they do the exact same thing. Meaning people are going to continue protesting and they have to kill hundreds of thousands of people. I don't think that would even look, it doesn't make sense because it's going to be another civil war. I think Trump has a plan.
I actually think you're right, Sarah. I read Israel Hayon, I think it was 2 days ago. Remember when Bibi met Trump? I think it was early January or whatever, and then after that, the first 1 hour of that meeting, I don't know if it's true or not, but this is what the reporter meets a God reporter is. And the first 1 hour of that meeting was literally Bibi showing Trump video after video of Iranians dying. And it's reported by him, I don't actually believe it, that Trump had to walk out of the room 2 times because he was so disgusted by the death that was going on. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to make a deal with a subject like this. I just think it's one of those things to calm the markets and whatever. I think he cares about markets. I think he cares about things and stuff like that. But I think the United States is going to end this regime. I don't think you deploy all this machinery and weaponry, and then after that, it's obviously Cuba. After that, and then I think it's going to be done. But yeah, he's not going to make a deal with this Sarah. So I really wouldn't be too worried about it. Honest to God.
We hope so.
Yeah, I think when I talk to my Iranian friends, they're literally more scared of the U.S. ending the war than they are of the bombs.
Exactly.
But I think Trump will do the right thing. I don't think he's going to be we just had an excursion there, and we're just going to end the war, They're going to get rid of this government. It's been too long. It's twice now. It's been 50
Fuck you,
years,
Sarah.
so
You're a disgusting piece of shit. You're a disgusting piece of shit. You know that shit to you. No, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, because you talk shit on me too. And Sarah, you're a piece of shit.
I didn't even say anything.
You're a piece of shit, Sarah. You're a piece of Iranian shit. No, shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up. No, you're a piece of shit. You're not. You're a piece of shit, Sarah.
Go to the fucking go, you racist piece of shit. The funny thing is, the radical left is like the racist motherfuckers. I'm American born, U.S. citizen, you fucking piece of shit, bitch. I'm a born U.S. citizen. Did you hear me, you fucking anti-American little cunt who fucking rathers America be destroyed because of your radical lefty ideology. Fuck you. I hope every single person who's anti-American and wishes bad for America dies from a bad death. How about that, you fucking racist piece of shit? Oh, she calls me in the chat. Let's take screenshots of this. You IRGC born and raised. I was born in America, you fucking racist piece of shit. This is exactly what conservatives and Republicans say. Democrats, you fucking white lefty bitches. You guys are racist. You guys are sexist. You guys are fat piece of shit. Go hit the gym, you fucking fat 400-pound.
Well, that went well.
Shit.
That was not gonna go well,
I don't care. fucking anti-American little cunt. Fat pig. And then you should fucking racist piece of shit telling me like IRGC born. I'm as American as you are. I don't even know if you're American. You probably have a felony, bitch. You probably can't even vote. You're probably not even as American as I am. I wouldn't be surprised if you had a fucking felony and no rights to vote in America. You fucking piece of garbage, low-life, welfare, unemployed leech of this society. Here, this is what you get for saying racist crap to me, you fucking loser. Why don't we do this? I'll post my tax report, you post yours. You don't have a tax report. You know why? Because you're on fucking welfare. I pay for your fucking food stamp, you piece of shit garbage. Loser.
Sarah, just say, call her a black bitch. Say it.
No, this bitch, I'm like a born U.S. citizen. She fucking white bitch racist. She calls me like an IRGC born. Like she tries to like say I'm like what? Say racist shit, thinking she gets away of it because she's a fat white lefty cunt. No, bitch. I'll post. Why don't we post it? Why don't we post our tax reports? Sarah, you don't have a tax report.
Black
I
people
pay for
can't
your
be
fucking
racist.
welfare, you cunt. Why don't you shut the fuck up? Post your tax report, I'll post mine. I know you're on welfare. I know you're on food
Black people
stamps.
cannot be racist, Sarah, remember. That's what
She's
they
not
what the
black.
blacks say. Oh, she's not?
Oh, is Bima black? No, she's not.
Yeah.
She's some
No, she's
lefty
black.
white bitch. No.
No.
She's a fat white lefty typical.
The test is you have to
Dad, shut the fuck up. Like, why are you yelling in my fucking ear? Like,
You leave the room if you don't like it.
shut up.
No, leave. If you don't like it, fucking leave. Well, even if you're black, you've identified as a white till today and I haven't seen a picture of you. So you're gonna be white till you post a picture of your fucking fat welfare ass. And then I will accept you're black. Because until today, the last couple years I know you, you've claimed you're white and you're not black. And I don't give a fuck if you're white or black. If you're racist and you're fucking racist piece of shit, trying to tell a U.S.-born citizen that they are some IRGC born because you told them like fucking other racist Holocaust denier fucking type of words. I told you my brother was shot by IRGC. You said, well, I'm not saying he wasn't, but I haven't seen your brother. Fuck off, you fucking cunt. Food stamp cunt. Why don't you show your tax report? Fucking bitch. At least 10 times this cunt has told me, go back to Iran. If I go to Iran, who's going to pay for your food stamp, bitch? I apologize to the room, but I really don't appreciate, I just can't appreciate, like, someone when they're so fucking racist. Like, what
Sarah, can I say something?
Of course.
Sarah,
I apologize to the room.
At least, Sarah, you have somewhere to go. The blacks have nowhere to go. They're living in a country that don't want them. You have somewhere to go, at least. They don't.
Who has nothing to go? I don't understand.
You have a country that you belong to. The blacks have
It's
no
fucking
country.
America, yes. My country is America.
Exactly.
So what are you saying? I did not fucking understand what you're saying.
Oh, no. If you ever want to go to Iran, you can go to Iran.
No, I don't want to
Blacks
go to
can't
Iran.
anywhere.
I'm fucking American. I'm not going anywhere.
El Teresa,
El Teresa, what are you over here talking about blacks for with your fucked up accent, bro? Shut the fuck up, dude. You need to go back to your country, wherever the fuck that is. El Teresa, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Mind your fucking business, dude. Mind your fucking business, bro. Like, what are you over here just talking about black people
Niggas
for?
are racist as shit.
The niggas are racist as shit. Shut up, dude. Like, what would you sit up here and say something something like that for?
Yeah, why would you
No,
say
no,
that?
answer the question. Answer the question. What would you sit up here and say something like that for? Sarah has a beef with Beeman.
Sean on this.
Sarah has a beef with Beeman, and you just want to sit there and say some
Exactly
stupid
why
shit
I
like that.
want every illegal fucking Mexican and every fucking illegal Hispanic guy
You guys are joking.
Hold up, motherfucker. Hold the fuck up. Because I had to come up here. This is exactly why I want every last one of these fucking Mexican-ass illegal, Hispanic illegal motherfuckers and the rest of their racist-ass families the fuck out of here. Like, this is exactly why I align with Donald Trump 100 million fucking percent. And this is why I make it my business every fucking week to make a report to fucking ICE to get every last one of you illegal motherfuckers out of here. Because you want to know why? Hispanic, let me tell y'all something right now. Y'all know for one good reason that I don't fucking race bait, but the one group of people who I cannot fucking stand are these fucking Hispanic pieces of shit.
Real quick.
I want every last one of these fucking Hispanics fucking deported out of this motherfucker immediately. And I am not joking when I say that.
They want to be white so bad. Like, it's so funny. They want to be white so bad.
Let me tell y'all something. One of the most racist groups of fucking people are fucking Hispanics. And these fucking... I cannot stand these motherfuckers. If you guys have been here to LA... Hold up. If you've been here to LA... Yeah, so you're gonna go to the fucking audience until I'm done. You fucking... Ooh, I swear to God. Listen, I literally... I mean, y'all are gonna hate me for this. Personally, I don't really give a fuck. Y'all know I don't race bait. I talk shit about black people, white people, but the group of fucking people who I cannot stand are these fucking Mexicans. Like, I'm not fucking joking when I say this. Or people who align with this weird ass motherfucker right here. I literally cannot stand them. Like, they are some of the most group of fucking people that I've ever come across. When it goes on his fucking tirades, like, I align with him because, you know what, he's funny with his shit. You can tell he doesn't really mean any malice at all. Like, he's just going on whatever fucking rampage he loves. He goes on. But people like this son of a bitch right here are fucking absolutely racist. And I can't stand people like that. And this is exactly why I want every last one of you motherfuckers deported. Even if you're fucking legal here, I know it's goddamn not legal to do, but that's how bad I can't stand you fucking people. Like, if I could get rid of every fucking Mexican in this fucking country or fucking world, I would. Like, 100%. I literally cannot stand you fucking parasite roach motherfucker. You know what?
There's your response.
Let me mute up. Yeah, because I'm gonna start saying some real disrespectful fucking shit.
No,
but
for real, you sound fat.
You motherfuckers need to be fucking deported immediately. Every last one of you.
They need to deport
There's
some
any
snacks
quick
you've been
response?
hiding under your bed.
I don't want to take it back to where we were. I do want to say this real quick. I do want to say this. Sarah, I have no problems with you. However, I do want to say this. I cannot vouch for everything you said about Bima. I don't know about the go back to Iran stuff. But I will say this, Sarah. And again, Sarah, I love you. I think you fucking... Hold on, Sarah, hold on.
Hold on,
Sarah. Let me finish.
It should be enough in the chat. She wrote right now to justify the way I
You're a gaslighting piece of shit, Sarah.
You're
You're a gaslighting piece of shit, Sarah.
No,
You
this is
started
not Don't talk.
This is what I get.
You don't get to call people this stuff that you called me in the chat after the way you've been acting.
Sarah, can
and
I
after
finish
the
what I'm saying,
shit you
Sarah?
said to me.
Sarah,
No, she doesn't get to say
Sarah,
that
I didn't say
shit
anything. Sarah, let me finish.
and
Here's
then
what I'm
come
saying.
talk more shit.
Sarah, I think you're crazy.
I know
but
I
I'm
keep doing this, but this is not even cool to keep bringing her on the stage.
No, Sarah, I think you're crazy, but I dig it and I like it, and I think you can get it, and also you can get it. Bima, I like Bima also. I don't know about any of the other stuff you laid on her, but I'm willing to bet my entire paycheck. I swear to you, Sarah. There's no chance in hell she said about the brother thing. All the other stuff.
On my dad's grave, this cunt said that.
I was
Why would I say that?
for Bima. I'm willing
So
to bet
I'm
the entire
lying?
one of my paycheck.
Fuck
There's
you.
no way.
Why? Fuck
There's no
you.
way she said the thing
You're
about how
saying
she
I'm
wished her brother
lying,
was
right?
killed. I've known people for 30 years.
Two women
There's no way. I think there's other people on the stage that would also do the same thing here. The other stuff's there. Look, the Irene stuff, and the other stuff.
There is a reason I talk
But
to
the
her
brother
like this.
thing,
Listen,
there's no
Mike.
way.
Listen, Mike.
There's no way she meant it like that. No way.
This cunt said that, and you want to say no way, so you're saying I'm lying. I don't give a fuck. People in this room, they know she's anti-American. She's a fucking anarchist.
Give me the brother thing again. You said that you wish your brother got shot in the head.
She's anti-American. She's a fucking piece of shit.
No, that's
She was telling me that I need to show proof that people in Iran were getting shot and going to hospitals. And I told her, I said, Dima, my own brother was shot and they didn't take him to a hospital because they were killing people in hospitals. To not give credit to my point, she said, I'm not saying your brother wasn't shot, but neither you or I was there to confirm what happened. This is the cunt, this little cunt is.
Well,
Mike, and
earlier you said my brother was shot. Dima said whether he was shot or not.
If you want to defend this cunt,
I'm not,
you
Sarah.
can, but you and I will never talk again.
Sarah, earlier you said.
Ignore you forever.
Sarah, earlier you said.
There's
you said
no
my brother
reason
was
for
shot
me
in
to
the
lie
head.
to you.
If
You
Dima
know this
said-
cunt is capable of saying that, and she did.
You go.
The fact that she's pretending she didn't say it, that's enough for me, to be honest with you.
She
At least
said-
I know she's somewhat a troll and not a real fucking anti who would burn this country to the ground just because she fucking hates him and she doesn't have a job.
Sarah, earlier you said, you're like, my brother was shot in the head, and Bima goes, well, whether he was shot in the head or not, I don't care.
Though. The day that I heard about
Well,
this,
whatever,
Matt
then.
knows about this. Listen, there are people
God
who
damn
know
it.
about
You said
every
Bima
movement
said
of
she
this.
doesn't care.
I said Nick.
Okay,
I
Nick,
never
sorry,
said
Nick.
she
Sorry,
didn't
you're right,
care.
sorry.
I said
Sorry.
she doesn't care.
Okay.
I said she told me I need to prove it.
Well, that's
what
different.
she
That's
said.
different. Earlier
I
you
never
said.
said she doesn't care. She
Okay.
said I need to prove it. And you know what? If you think that's different and it's okay for her to say, then fuck you too, Mike. How
Sarah, earlier you said, you're like, my brother was shot in the neck, and Bima said, well, whether he was shot in the neck, I don't really care. And I was like, whoa, there's no way Bima said something like that.
Mike,
Where she
you,
was like, I don't
you
care.
literally just said, I don't think
Well,
you're
now
listening.
you said it's that you need to
No,
prove
no,
it.
no. I
Again,
think
don't
you're not
No,
listening
she
because
said-
you're the one who just said, oh, you said your brother was shot in the head. I never said he was
Well,
shot in the
Nick,
head.
my bad,
And
Nick,
I
my
never said what you're claiming. I said she asked for proof. It's in the fucking chat. Why don't you go read what I wrote?
Yeah, she
It's
said
in the
I don't
fucking
know
chat.
if
I'm gonna screenshot it. I'm gonna screenshot what she said that I put in the chat, and I'm gonna put it on my PTR. Stop like fucking rubbing it for her, dude. I know what I said. I'm not a piece of shit liar like her.
Yeah, and then Sarah said that she said that she doesn't know if her brother was
You know,
shot or not.
these
so that's what
these
she
people
said.
are the same life. I remember Bima when people were shot at Bondi Beach. When people were shot at Bondi Beach in December in Australia, we were in a room with Bima. And we were like, terrorists just shot up Bondi Beach.
Was that Bondi, right? Bondi Beach or something?
And she was like, I remember that day in Bondi Beach and I lost my shit. Because it was like, these Islamists just shot up fucking Australia and Bondi Beach. And that bitch Bima said the exact same thing in that day and I got over it. I 100% believe Sarah. It's the same time
Yeah, they act
as
as
the
if
Coco.
she's
There's a
never
reason
sucked
why I
the
block Coco,
shit
that dumb, disgusting Kusukum hoe. Because when Jake was murdered on October 7, she actually celebrated October 7 and she was in a room. She was in a room with all those other
Yo, Ishik, shut the fuck up, you dirty ass Somalian.
Sarah, can you please do me a favor and just drop this?
Look, I might have misheard it. I thought you said Bima said, I don't care whether
Do
you're
me a favor while I get this out.
I was like,
Somalis have no place in America.
I remember the day. I remember the day
Sarah
when
didn't say
Bondi
that.
Beach
Mike,
was
if you're not
fucking shut up.
No,
And
Somalis have no place in America at all.
Nothing about it. Wait. When? No, shut up for a second. When Bondi Beach was shut.
No, hold on a second. Look at my PTR. This is
No, don't do the.
I even typed what I said. So only because you've changed my word to, oh, Sarah, you said she doesn't care.
That's what I thought you
Because
said.
now she changed it from that to what she said. It doesn't make it less important. This piece of shit wanted proof that my killed. She's a fucking piece of shit. Anti-American on welfare. And today, go read the chat and see the comments she made to me.
Yeah.
Go read the comments
You know,
she
interesting thing,
wrote
you know,
to me.
Sam,
To be honest,
Fuck your mentality, Beaver.
I want to ask Beaver a question. Beaver, do you remember that day when me and Koala were in the room and those people got shot to death in Sydney, in Bondi Beach, and Beamer was talking shit, and remember how we lost our shit? Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I remember.
The way she diminished it and everything else, like the way she laughed.
No, I agree with her. I agree with her point, but I told her it was not the time because you guys were obviously very upset. And I told her
She said a terrible thing that day. Remember what she was diminishing it all? You know what I mean? And me and Koala lost our shit. That's why Koala blocked her.
Yeah, well, it was. I agree. Let me make this clear. I agree with what Bima said, but it wasn't the time for her to say it.
It was a fucked up thing she said. It was a terrible thing she said. It was a terrible thing she did. And when Jake died, and Coco laughed at Jake's death, I blocked Coco. She's the only one I ever blocked in my entire life. So when Bima is going to come here and say, oh, she never said something, I remember vividly when like 15 of my fellow Australian Jews were shot, and she was making a mockery of it.
She was not making a mockery of it.
Do you remember how me and Koala were pissed off?
Yes, and she got mad at you because you said something about all Muslims and this and that, and she took exception with that. I told her to back off. I said, Nina, back off. Now's not the time for this.
So when people get shot to death, she can just be like, oh, this is what happened, oh, so terrible, and everything else happens, and everything else like that. I actually don't mind people, but I think she's a horrible, terrible person sometimes. She's not a fucking angel. You were there. There's a reason why Koala blocked her and everything else like that. This person is sick in the mind. She's not well. She has problems.
Oh, you're gonna let me
on a day of a Jewish, on a day.
Would you believe it that she hasn't even apologized? She's had the chance to say,
apologize
look, Michael, did I apologize to you last night or not? After we talked shit to you, I was like, fuck, I'm sorry. I didn't know you're not that Michael. I would have never made these comments. I apologize. You said, fuck you. I said, I still have to do my apology. When you say something,
she
fuck
did.
you,
I can't lie. She did.
You man up and you fucking apologize, Bima. You disrespected me. My fucking brother was shot for a whole week. I'm not trying to play victim, but this is what I went through. Matt is my witness here. For a whole week, I didn't know if my brother was alive, if he was dead, if he needed surgery, how was he shot. I knew nothing about it for 8 fucking days. And you just felt the need to say, well, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I wasn't there, and neither was you. So we don't really know what happened. So yeah, you didn't apologize. So fuck you. And playing victim in the chat. Oh, Matt, you're gonna let them abuse me? You're a cunt.
I don't even know what's going on. What happened? I actually crashed out.
Read the comments in the chat. You'll see it.
Nobody fucking crashed out.
Keep deporting me. This fucking Matt. Hold on a sec. This piece of shit racist, this racist white fat lefty who hates America, she keeps trying to deport me to IRGC. She's like, go you fucking IRGC terrorist, go back to Iran. She keeps saying that after I reminded her that I'm a US born citizen. So yeah, she's a piece of shit, and piece of shit, racist piece of shit. So I just reminded her that everybody can be nasty like she is.
Wait, how's she racist?
I don't think she's white. She just likes white guys.
She claims she's white. She said it herself. I don't fucking care. I don't have like a fucking, I don't know how to read the future.
White guys, please take one for the team.
She's a white bitch, so I believe she's a white. That's what she claimed. And I don't care. Now she says I'm black. I don't believe it because she claims she's white.
Alright, let's dial it down.
You know what they say? Can one of you white guys please take one for the team, man?
What's that?
Can one of you guys, white guys, take one for the team?
Because I remember that day in Sydney when that bullshit fucking happened and what she said makes me sick to my fucking stomach. Horrible person, same as Coco. But I came around because people was like, oh, she's not so bad. Maybe she's not terrible, you know. And I suppose
You can shut the fuck up. Because nobody wants to hear from you. We're listening to Sarah. We're not listening to you. We don't give a fuck about your opinion. If you want to jump in,
I don't even talk to you, bro. Like, I really don't talk to you. I don't like you. I want nothing to do with you. Stop talking to me. You weird cunt. But shut the fuck up. I never even mentioned your name, you weird cunt. Every time I speak, this weird cunt just wants to say my name. Shut the fuck up. I'm saying something else. I don't even mention you because you're fucking irrelevant. Like a fucking cockroach. Shut the fuck up. But all I'm just saying is, like, I believe Sarah.
Beaver says she's not a leftist. She's an anarchist. Anarchist is a fucking radical left. That's exactly what this bitch is. She's an anti-American fucking lefty. She's like a fucking, she's not Muslim, but she acts like those terrorist Muslims who wants to fucking blow up U.S.
Bima is very controversial, no doubt. I don't know anything about what she said. I didn't see any of it yet.
I've never seen her say anything nice about America or anything. She hates the government. She hates America. She hates conservatives. She hates the people. She hates everything about U.S.
How come she's, can she clarify what happened if I'm here or no?
Sarah keeps moving her down.
I want to hear what she has to say, hi, Key.
Go read her message. Go read her.
I don't want to do that right now. Hear about that.
I want you to go read the comments that she wrote in the chat. I like you to go read the comments that she wrote for me in the chat. I want her because she still called. She wrote 5,000 times in the chat that I'm a terrorist-born Irish.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Sarah. Shut the fuck up.
You again.
Shut your fucking mouth.
No, I want to hear what she has to say. Don't remove her.
I'm not done, Matt. I was talking to you.
No,
Sarah's killing her. Sarah's killing her.
No, Matt.
You're steamrolling her.
Matt, go read her comments because she said I'm lying about the shit that she has said.
Sarah, shut the fuck up. Everybody has heard you for the past 30 minutes. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Sarah. Shut up. Shut up, Sarah. Shut your fuck up, drunk ass, dumbass mouth. Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Shut the fuck up, you drunk, dumb Iranian. Listen, this is the fact of the matter. This bitch will abuse.
I sent her back down to the group because people listen, Matt. She doesn't get to call me Iranian.
Right?
Matt,
So we're fucking openly racist in this room? Is it?
Matt, Sarah's fucking crazy. She shouldn't be a moderator. I can't. This is impossible.
Yeah.
Why? Because you love Bima?
It's impossible.
Because you love Bima?
No, if Bima did something wrong, she'll let her address it.
Have to own it. Yeah, exactly. I gotta hear what's going on. I don't know what's going
I'll
on.
send you. I'll
Man,
send
you
you
always act like you don't know what's going on.
I told you.
It's such a smart position.
Othello, the
Really
Palestinian
I didn't
guy.
fall asleep. I
The
don't know.
Palestinian guy. The other guy who hates America. Of
Sarah
course
down
you're
so we
gonna
can
defend her.
actually hear what Bima has to say.
Of course you're gonna defend her. Of course. You hate
We
America.
just want to hear it, Sarah. Let me hear it, but don't. Hey, Bima, if you don't, I don't know. Don't direct it at her, but just direct it at me. Whatever happened, you know. I don't know. Okay. Can she come up for a second or no? I'm gonna get her up.
Yeah, she can, but you should control your stage so someone doesn't say fucking racist bullshit shit.
Okay, she's coming up. Hold on. I think.
Matt.
What's up?
Sarah has mental issues. She's fucking sick in the head. I never disrespect Sarah, ever. I don't disrespect her. She constantly verbally abuses, lies on my name, and then moves me down. And I'll see her, and I'll go into the room after she mod abuses me, and I forget about it, and I come back, and I'm friendly with it. Okay, she's fucking sick in her fucking mind. Okay, today she lied. We're having a great conversation. She lied like she normally does, makes up entire that absolutely never happened because she's literally fucking insane in her brain, literally fucking fabricating false conversations that never took place. They never fucking happened. Never, Matt. They never happened. They don't exist. She fabricates them. How am I supposed to fight somebody who's literally lying, making up scenarios that never fucking existed, okay? Never happened. She started to talk today. How did it happen? She wanted to talk about some shit about me asking for proof and evidence of the 35,000. That's how it started.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to direct it to her, but I was directing it to the room to talk about how we're in an age of misinformation and manipulation and campaign and all this other shit. And asking for evidence isn't cruelty, and asking for evidence isn't denying anything. Asking for evidence is the right thing to do in a fucking age where we have fucking crazy shit, okay? But before I was able to get any of that out, this crazy, stupid bitch started saying that I was saying some stupid shit about her brother, which I fucking never said. I never said anything about her fucking brother.
I'll have to look at everything, obviously, but that's strange.
Look at my PTR.
I'm not gonna.
Look at my PTR, man. Look at my
I'm not gonna let it
PTR.
get it right down. Zero.
Just look at my PTR. I want to see if she's gonna deny calling me a terrorist. IRGC brand.
Yes, absolutely, Sarah, because I believe you are. I believe you are. Do you know why? Do you know why, bitch? Because you can't have, you're not civil. You're literally insult my personal character. You insult my personal character. You